Chapter 1285. What? What's wrong with that? Xiaolong froze. What makes you think that their injury medicine is the same as our golden creation? Are you going to tell the media that you asked Xiaoming to bribe the vice president of Miracle Dr. Guan's company to get the formula? If that's the case, then the reputation of our Dr. Kang's medical group will be ruined. Dr. Kang humphed coldly. Also, if you list out those precious herbs, our Dr. Kang's golden creation formula will be in danger of being leaked. You have to know that the uniqueness of our formula lies in those precious herbs. If someone else learns about it and tries to figure it out, there might be a Miracle Dr. Li or Miracle Dr. Wang appearing tomorrow. Isn't that just asking for trouble? Grandpa, I'm sorry, I didn't think it through. Xiaolong lowered his head, admitting his wrongdoing. He was too eager to turn things around, and he didn't think before he spoke. Xiaoming, what do you think? I didn't think that the person I looked down on the most in the whole house Kong is the smartest one now. Miracle Dr. Kong was very satisfied with Kong Xiaoming, especially since he'd performed so many miraculous feats. Miracle Dr. Kong valued him even more. Grandpa, I think we should do something else while we're dealing with the injury medicine. We can't just sit here and wait for death. Kong Ming said. The meeting of the noble houses is about to start. We have to do something, or we won't have a chance this time. That's right, we can't just sit here and wait for death. We have to take the initiative. This is what the descendants of House Kong should do. Dr. Kong nodded. Tell me your opinion. First, we're too weak. We should get a noble house to help us. The best one to help us is actually the Shao family. After all, our two houses have an engagement. Compared to other noble houses, it's easier to get in touch with them. Kong Ming analyzed proudly. Actually, everyone understood his analysis. It was just that they felt that there was no hope. However, Kong Ming didn't care so much. He only wanted to improve his image and the right to speak. So, no matter how feasible this matter was, he would bring it up first. Well, that makes sense. Dr. Kong nodded. Xiaolong couldn't take it any longer. Makes sense. What **t logic? He knew that his grandpa liked Kong Ming now, so whatever he said, his grandpa would agree. Xiaolong calmed down and stood up to refute. Grandpa, Xiaoming, although the Shao family used to have a good relationship with us, but now... The last time we went to visit the Shao family didn't even acknowledge us. Do you think the Shao family would still like us? What Xiaolong said is indeed a problem. Xiaoming, what do you think? Dr. Kong didn't have much ability or brains. He was just an illiterate who didn't even graduate from primary school. It was only by chance that he obtained the formula of golden creation that he was able to establish House Kong. In fact, he didn't have any ability at all. He didn't even have basic medical knowledge, let alone managing a family. But because of the powerful golden creation formula, other families came to suck up to them, so it wasn't a big deal for House Kong to be a little mediocre. But things were different now. Miracle Dr. Kang's pretense of being mysterious and unfathomable didn't work anymore. He trained himself to think and do things like a leader, but his foundation was too weak. He'd be the first one to panic when something happened to House Kong. This is related to the second thing I wanted to say. You guys have to let me finish. Kong Ming rolled his eyes. He actually connected the first and second things together. He was very proud of himself. He was a genius to be able to connect these two things together. Oh. Then hurry up and tell me, what is the second thing? Dr. Kong didn't suspect anything. The second thing is that I need to find the formula for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing as soon as possible. As long as our Kong family has the formula for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, we will be able to create the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. To our Kong family, it will be a huge boon. The Xiao family knows that we can create the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. They will probably take the initiative to mend their relationship with us. If we have the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing, the other families will definitely come to us for help. Wouldn't it be a piece of cake for us to become an aristocratic family? Kong Ming said in one breath. After he finished speaking, he was a little impressed with himself. He was too amazing, too awesome, to be able to speak so fluently. He was a genius. Good idea. Good idea. Our Kong family has Xiaoming. The heavens are truly blessing us. Dr. Kong slapped the table and laughed heartily. Grandpa, but Xiaoming has the formula as well. This way, we won't be the only ones with the formula, and we won't have an obvious advantage. Xiaolong, on the other hand, was singing a different tune. He knew that Xiaoming was bullshitting, and everyone knew that, but Xiaoming just had to link it all together. He couldn't help but be impressed that his brother had such an unreasonable brain. That's not it. Kong Ming said. It said that the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing is made from some rare herbs, and the production of these herbs is limited every year. It's very rare, so it's a matter of competition. Whoever can get their hands on these rare herbs first will have the advantage. I think that with our relationship with the pharmacists, even if we can't get all of these rare herbs, we'll be able to get a portion of them. Even if we only get a portion, we'll have a say in the matter. After all, the production of these herbs is low, and there's only a small amount every year. The rarer something is, the greater its value. We'll still have an advantage then. That's right. Xiaolong, look at your brother. When it comes to academics, he's not as good as you, but he's very good at scheming. You have to be impressed. But a scholar can't be the head of a house, after all. The head of the house needs to have brains. I think Xiaoming's idea is very doable. Let's do it. Dr. Kong said happily. Yes, Grandpa. Kong Ming agreed happily. Chapter 1286. But even if it was a chain reaction, finding the recipe for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing was something Xiaolong didn't think was possible. But Kong Ming just had to pull it out like it was easy. Xiaolong wasn't willing to accept this, he was the head of the house. The words his grandfather said to him before the Yanjing auction were still ringing in his ears, but now the head of the house was his own brother, Kong Ming. He wasn't willing, he really wasn't. Since Xiaoming's so confident, and he was the one who came up with this idea, then I'll leave the search for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing to Xiaoming. Xiaolong smiled, looking at Xiaoming as if he had faith in him. Xiaoming, the hope of House Kang's rise rests on you. That. Of course, no problem. Kong Ming had no choice but to agree. Even if Xiaolong didn't say anything, he'd be the one doing all this anymore, there was no way he'd change the person, so he might as well agree first. He'd achieved his goal of beating down Xiaolong. Good, I'm happy that Xiaoming is so responsible. Dr. Kong nodded, happy. Since that's the case, then it's settled. Guifeng, you go get in touch with the Xiao family, and Xiaoming, you go find the recipe for the pill of life extension and toxin cleansing. Xiaolong, hurry up and think of a way to sell the miracle Dr. Guan's injury medicine in the warehouse. House Kang's funds are being used up too much. Even if we get the recipe, we'll need a lot of money to develop it. Yes. Everyone agreed at the same time. Cuepu, on the other hand, had nothing else to do. He'd already been like this for the rest of his life, there was no need to show anything else. His son, Kong Ming, had been chosen by Dr. Kong to be the next head of House Kong. Suepu could continue being a spoiled brat because of his son's status. The leisurely days flew by quickly, and these days, the villa was filled with the sounds of Xiao Xiao, the Miss, and Shu's laughter. In the blink of an eye, it was the day of Su Shihan's concert. Miss, Shu, Yun Yun, and Xiao Xiao had been waiting for this day for a long time. Su Shihan could be said to be the idol of many young people. Boys liked her, girls liked her too. It wasn't just because Su Shihan was beautiful, her voice was sweet, and her voice was pleasant to the ears. It was also because of her purity. Ever since her debut, there had been no scandals, and there had never been any negative photos or videos. In this era, Su Shihan was indeed an anomaly. But Su Shihan, who didn't take off her clothes, was more popular than those who took off their clothes. This meant that most people still liked pure celebrities. Han, what do you think? If you really can't do it, just announce the cancellation of the concert. Wang Sis looked at Su Shihan with concern. It's okay, Sister Wang. I just need to rest for a while. The fans are already here, and some of them came from other places. If the concert is cancelled, they'll be really sad. Su Shihan shook her head and smiled bitterly. It's okay, I'll grit my teeth and get through it. And then don't force yourself. If you really can't handle it, just stop it. I'll find an excuse to change clothes or a stage malfunction to stall for some time. Wang Sis said. Do you understand, Han? I understand. Don't worry, Wang Sis, I'm not a kid anymore. Su Shihan smiled. Wang Sis, Su Jianong is here. At this time, the bodyguard Feng Sanhuang pushed the door open and reported. He wants to see Miss Su. Oh. What's he here for? Wang Sis paused. All right, I'll go see him. In fact, Wang Sis still had a sliver of hope. She hoped that Qibing would change his mind and not make those unreasonable requests. He would just accept some money and help Su Shihan cure her illness. Otherwise, with Qibing's conditions, Su Shihan wouldn't agree to it. Qibing would lose both his money and himself. In fact, Qibing didn't think that he would lose both his money and himself. He sent Su Jianong here to threaten Su Shihan. He was getting impatient. He had waited for so long and Su Shihan still hadn't come for treatment. This made Qibing's heart itch. Such a beauty, he couldn't hold her in his arms. Qibing didn't want to give up. So he sent Su Jianong here to ask Su Shihan if she wanted to cure her illness or not. If she didn't want to, there wouldn't be a chance in the future. Mr. Su, why are you here at this time? Wang Sis came to the guest room and saw Su Jianong. Although she was still holding a grudge against Qibing's words, she didn't seem to have any inappropriate behavior. Manager Wang, I don't need to tell you why I'm here. You should know. Su Jianong smiled and didn't beat around the bush. He went straight to the point. Master Bing asked me to ask Miss Su something. Are you going to cure her illness or not? You have to know that Master Bing's patience is limited. Mr. Su, of course we want to cure her, but Master Bing's conditions, we can't do that. If you need money, just tell us. Even if we have to sell everything we have, we will still come up with the money. But if young Master Zhao still asks for those unrealistic conditions, then we can only regret it. Wang Sis said. Manager Wang, do you mean Miss Su's will? In other words, there's no room for discussion. Su Jianong's face darkened. No room for discussion. Wang Sis said firmly. My will is Miss Su's will. If that's the case, then I'll go back and report. But Master Bing also said that if Miss Su doesn't agree, then there's no room for discussion in the future. You guys have no room for discussion, and we have no room for discussion. Su Jianong said faintly. Manager Wang, good luck. I won't see you out. Wang Sis was infuriated as well. This Xiao Qibing was really a pervert. He didn't want to earn money and instead wanted to get intimate with her. But Xiao Han wasn't an ordinary celebrity, she wouldn't agree to his unreasonable request. There was basically no room for negotiation. So Wang Sis didn't mind offending Su Jianong. After sending Su Jianong away, Wang Sis couldn't help but sigh. It seemed that her request for medical treatment was a complete failure. If Xiao Han was an ordinary person, or if her looks weren't so outstanding, then perhaps she could just spend some money, but... Chapter 1287. As Su Shihan's bodyguard, Feng Sanhuang always had this kind of expression on his face, but it was also because of this that Su Shihan and Wang Sis didn't put up their guard against him at all. He wasn't like other men who would show an expression of infatuation towards Su Shihan. Of course, they didn't know that Feng Sanhuang was actually a spy. They were all deceived by Feng Sanhuang's calm appearance. Sister Wang, you're back. Shihan saw that Wang Sis had returned and nodded to her. In fact, Shihan had never thought that Qibing would change his mind. Shihan had seen too many of these kinds of people. They were lustful and wouldn't stop until they got what they wanted. However, there were many young masters who inexplicably disappeared after coming to find them. They were either under the control of their families or mysteriously vanished from the face of the earth. Although Shihan didn't believe that it was a coincidence, there were no clues at all. Su Shihan even wondered if it was God's blessing for her tragic life. Su Jianong came and said the same thing as before. He asked if you would agree to Xiao Qibing's request and I rejected him right away. Wang Sis said to Su Shihan, Xiao Han, this time, Wang Sis made a mistake. I asked you to treat him, but it caused some trouble. Sister Wang, don't say that. You did it for my own good. How can I blame you for this? Su Shihan quickly waved her hand and said, Wang Sis, it's fine, I've been sick for so many years, I've endured it, it's fine. Yeah, our Xiao Han is strong enough. Sister Wang laughed. On one side, Shihan was getting ready to go on stage. On the other side, tens of thousands of spectators had already flooded into Songshan's cultural stadium. With Pingzhan's position in Songshan, getting a few front-row VIP tickets was a piece of cake. The 5 of them sat in the front row of the stadium. Other than Lin Yi, the 4 girls were very excited, especially Tang Yun. She never thought that she would have the luxury of attending a concert. And it was a front-row VIP ticket. Although she didn't use her own money to buy the tickets, Tang Yun was still very happy. However, she didn't show it. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was screaming excitedly with Yushu, Su Shihan. Shihan. Su Shihan. Meng Yao and Tang Yun looked at each other helplessly. They were fans, but they weren't crazy. They were quiet people, unlike Xiao Xiao and Yushu, who would cheer with the crowd. Only Lin Yi was dozing off on the VIP seats as if nothing had happened. Sleeping at Su Shihan's concert, Lin Yi was probably the only one. Although the concert hadn't started yet, which fan wasn't waiting excitedly? How could he fall asleep? Lin Yi was actually training. Ever since he heard what Zhao Yazi said, Lin Yi knew that Xiao Xiao didn't have long to live, and so he started training day and night, closing his eyes and entering the jade space whenever he had the chance. Because Lin Yi knew that some things could only be resolved after possessing absolute strength. Therefore, what Lin Yi wanted to do the most right now was to level up. Shield bro, why did you fall asleep? Yushu looked at Lin Yi strangely. Shu, don't disturb him, he's training. Meng Yao knew Lin Yi. There was one time when Lin Yi was watching TV with his eyes closed. Meng Yao had asked Lin Yi about it, so without a doubt, Lin Yi was still training. Meng Yao could more or less guess what Lin Yi was thinking, too. He wanted to get as strong as he could so he could heal Xiao Xiao. Oh. Yushu nodded and didn't disturb Lin Yi anymore. They were watching a concert now, so it didn't matter to her whether or not Lin Yi watched it. Lin Yi indeed wasn't that interested in Su Shihan. He had enough beauties in his house, and Lin Yi couldn't possibly be interested in a so-called celebrity. Wasn't it just a little girl who could sing and dance? The Miss, Shu, Yun Yun, and Xiao Xiao all knew these things. Lin Yi didn't need to look at others. After a while of waiting, the stadium's lights dimmed, and the music stopped abruptly. Su Shihan was going on stage. At this moment, the audience in the arena cheered excitedly at this moment. Su Shihan, Su Shihan, Su Shihan. Everyone was screaming, waving their light sticks, spoons, and laser sticks in the air. Yushu and Xiao Xiao stood up like the other fans, moving their bodies to the rhythm of the song. Lin Yi frowned and covered his ears with his hands. The noise was too annoying. The stage suddenly lit up, and all sorts of colored lights shot towards the stage. A huge beam of light shot towards the stage as well, and the mechanism on the stage activated, and a stage slowly rose up from below. This was pretty much the procedure for all the celebrities. The stage of the stadium was circular, and the celebrities could only come out from below the stage. They couldn't go through the audience. Wah! The fans cheered again when they saw Su Shihan in her pink youth outfit. Hello, my fans, I am Su Shihan. Su Shihan politely and humbly greeted everyone. Thank you all for coming to Songshan Culture Stadium to attend my live concert. For this, I express my deepest gratitude. Lin Yi opened his eyes and looked at the girl on the stage. Her body and face were flawless, but who knew if those words were true or not? Was she thanking the fans for coming here and giving her money? In short, Lin Yi wasn't very interested in her. After a few glances, he closed his eyes again. As for Lin Yi's actions, the Miss, Shu, Yun Yun, and Xiao Xiao all felt helpless and thankful at the same time. Lin Yi was such a waste of a ticket. But, he wasn't a pervert. How could he close his eyes and continue training after seeing such a beautiful girl? It seemed like Su Shihan's position in Lin Yi's heart was far lower than Xiao Xiao's. In fact, it was true. Lin Yi didn't care about Su Shihan's life or death. If Su Shihan and Xiao Xiao were to be naked in front of Lin Yi would look at Xiao Xiao first. But, Lin Yi had to admit that Su Shihan's voice was very sweet, and her voice was like the sound of nature. And, with Lin Yi's sharp eyes, he could tell that Su Shihan was singing for real, not lip-syncing. Chapter 1288. The only thing Lin Yi wanted to thank Su Shihan for was that she brought laughter to Xiao Xiao. Looking at the excited Xiao Xiao, Lin Yi felt that it was a good decision for Su Shihan to hold a concert in Songshan at this time. If there was a chance in the future, he would thank Su Shihan in person. Soon, the concert reached its climax. Under Su Shihan's lead, the entire audience went wild. Everyone stood up and sang and danced along with Su Shihan's voice. Even the Miss and Tang Yun were affected by the atmosphere. They stood up and danced along with the music. One had to say, if Lin Yi didn't have super strong willpower, he would have been affected by everyone. Of course, Lin Yi's willpower wasn't something a normal person could achieve. So, Lin Yi sat in his seat and didn't move. Lin Yi only opened his eyes to look at Su Shihan before closing his eyes again and moving his body. At the front of the VIP seats, a middle-aged man sat. These VIP seats were usually not sold to the public. They were used internally. These good seats were given to people with connections and people close to Su Shihan. But there weren't many middle-aged people who came to watch Su Shihan's performance. Other than the parents who brought their children, this middle-aged man was the only one. The middle-aged man's clothes were simple and low profile. But people who knew what he was wearing would be shocked. His clothes were ordinary, but the material was top-notch. Beside him, there was a man in his 30s. The man's eyes were bright, and he was dressed in black like a bodyguard. Evidently, he was the middle-aged man's bodyguard. Feng Er, don't you think that I'm a useless man? I can't even protect my own woman and daughter. A tear flashed in the middle-aged man's eyes. It had been so many years, and he had been holding it in. Only in front of a few close subordinates would he show a hint of sadness and exhaustion. To become a powerful person, one had to learn how to be ruthless. Too much emotional restraint would give the competitors a lot of opportunities to attack. Even if there was love in his heart, he had to show it. Master, Feng Er doesn't know. Feng Er only knows that Master is a powerful person, a person who does great things. Those who do great things don't bother with trifles. The bodyguard called Feng Er replied respectfully. What else can you say besides these words? You're not as smart as your third brother. The middle-aged man shook his head helplessly. But you're loyal. You've been with me for so many years, but can you talk to me once in a while? Don't treat me as your master. Master will always be master. I don't know what else I can be, Feng Er said blankly. Forget it. The middle-aged man waved his hand. Let's watch the concert. All right. Miss is so beautiful. Feng Er nodded and said. The middle-aged man shook his head. His phone vibrated. Lin Yi took out his phone from his pocket and looked at the caller ID. It was Old Man Lin. Lin Yi was slightly taken aback. After all, the old man rarely took the initiative to call him. Most of the time, it was him who called him. And for the old man to call him, it must be something important. With that thought, Lin Yi quickly picked up the phone. Hello. Old man. What's up? Lin Yi said. What did you say? It's so noisy over there, can't you hear me? Old man Lin yelled into the phone. Where are you? What did you say? Lin Yi couldn't hear what Old Man Lin was saying. The concert was too loud, and the two of them couldn't hear each other clearly. Wait for me, I'll find a quiet place to call you. Lin Yi yelled into the phone, but his voice was quickly drowned out by the music. Lin Yi wanted to say something to Xiao Xiao, but she was waving her glow stick excitedly. Lin Yi didn't want to disturb her. He turned to Tang Yun, who had also stood up and was singing along with the miss, but she wasn't as engrossed as Xiao Xiao. Lin Yi pulled Tang Yun's hand, and she quickly lowered her head. What's wrong? I have something to do, so I'm going to make a call. I'll let you know. Lin Yi waved the phone in his hand. All right. Tang Yun nodded. Lin Yi stood up and left the VIP area, quickly leaving the stadium and heading to the washroom in the corridor. But when he got to the washroom on the first floor, Lin Yi heard voices coming from inside. It was a man's voice, and it sounded very familiar. Master Bing, I didn't see Su Shihan, but her manager rejected my suggestion. Yes, she said she wanted to spend money to treat her, but I told her that it's not negotiable. Don't worry, Master Bing, I'm at the concert. If she acts up, I'll go persuade her. If she doesn't go to Yao Wang, no one else can treat her. She'll definitely fall into Master Bing's arms. It was Su Jianang's voice. Lin Yi stood at the entrance of the washroom and listened for a while. He recognized the voice of an old acquaintance, and it seemed like he was talking to Zhao Qibing. As for the content of their conversation, Lin Yi could roughly understand it. The superstar Su Shihan probably had some illness and went to Yao Wang to treat her, and Zhao Qibing probably asked Su Shihan for some unspoken rules, which she rejected. Su Shihan wanted to spend money to treat her, but Zhao Qibing didn't agree, so the two were in a stalemate. Of course, this had nothing to do with Lin Yi. It didn't matter if Zhao Qibing was picking flowers or messing with grass, as long as he didn't provoke Lin Yi wouldn't care about him. Since he wanted to play with the superstar, then he couldn't interfere. This kind of thing, one was willing to fight, and the other was willing to suffer. That Su Shihan wanted to treat her, so it was natural for her to be played by Zhao Qibing. After listening for a while, Lin Yi didn't want to listen anymore, but this washroom, Lin Yi didn't plan to go in. Although Lin Yi could forcefully kick Su Jianong out, this washroom was obviously the closest one to the stadium. Now that Su Jianong was inside, it was hard to say if other people would come in. Lin Yi felt that the conversation between him and old Lin should be confidential, so Lin Yi didn't want others to hear it, and he couldn't let others hear it. Lin Yi decided to find another washroom that was further away. Chapter 1289. Ouch! Shihan covered her temples with both hands, her whole body lying on the basin, breathing heavily. She thought that she would be able to get through the concert, but she didn't expect that her headache would act up again in the middle of the concert. The more Su Shihan tried to calm the headache, the more it hurt, and the more anxious she was, the more painful it became. Su Shihan. Lin Yi finally recognized the girl who was washing her face with cold water and screaming in pain. It was the famous celebrity, Su Shihan. But, shouldn't Su Shihan be on the stage? Why was she here? Moreover, it seemed like something had gone wrong. That's right. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he heard Su Jianong and Zhao Qibing talking on the phone. They mentioned something about Su Shihan's illness. Could it be this kind of headache? With that thought, Lin Yi felt that it was very possible. Ah! Su Shihan heard someone call her name, and was shocked. She raised her head and looked at Lin Yi in fear. She rushed into the bathroom to wash her face with cold water, and she didn't think that there would be someone in the bathroom. This was the bathroom in the basement. Other than the staff, there shouldn't be anyone else. The staff should be busy cleaning up the mess. Why would there be someone in the bathroom? And, looking at Lin Yi's face, Su Shihan obviously hadn't seen him before. Although it was impossible for Su Shihan to know all the staff in the company, most of them looked familiar, and the staff all wore the same badge. No matter how this person dressed, he didn't look like a staff. Who are you? Su Shihan looked at Lin Yi cautiously and asked. You have a headache. Lin Yi frowned. He didn't want to poke his nose into other people's business, but Lin Yi wasn't thinking about Su Shihan's headache, but the consequences of her headache. Since Su Shihan appeared here, the concert must be interrupted, and if Su Shihan didn't recover, the concert would be forced to end early. This wasn't the result Lin Yi wanted to see. Lin Yi didn't like Su Shihan, and he didn't really look forward to her singing, but Xiao Xiao was looking forward to it. Xiao Xiao had been looking forward to this concert for a long time. How could Lin Yi let her down? Xiao Xiao was different from normal people, and every day she lived was a day less. Other people might regret not being able to see the concert today, but Xiao Xiao would regret it forever. She might not be able to see Su Shihan's concert in this lifetime. In order to let Xiao Xiao have a perfect day, Lin Yi wouldn't allow the concert to end early. So, he had no choice but to help Su Shihan. You. What are you doing? Su Shihan was very cautious towards a stranger in the washroom. She took 2 steps back subconsciously, but the splitting headache made her steps weak. She only took 2 steps back before she fainted on the floor. The only thought in her mind before she fainted was to call for help, but running from the stage to the washroom had used up all the energy in her body. She didn't have any extra energy left. Lin Yi didn't think that Su Shihan would faint before he could say anything. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But Lin Yi still had to save her. He walked to Shihan's side and didn't care too much. He directly grabbed her wrist and started checking her pulse, Lin Yi felt Su Shihan's pulse and frowned. He flipped her eyelids and looked at her tongue, but he didn't find any abnormalities. This surprised Lin Yi a little. This Su Shihan, where did her headache come from? Of course, Lin Yi could feel Su Shihan's pain, but he couldn't find the cause yet. It was really strange. But Lin Yi took out the silver needles from his pocket and sterilized them with pure qi. He started to perform acupuncture on Su Shihan. He inserted needles into Su Shihan's chest, head, wrist, and other parts of her body. Then, he started massaging her head and chest with his energy-infused hands. Ah! Su Shihan moaned. Finally, she woke up under Lin Yi's acupuncture and massage. But when she woke up, she saw a man pushing her to the ground. One of the man's hands was placed on her chest. Pervert! Su Shihan woke up immediately. She struggled to push Lin Yi away and get up from the ground. Don't move, wait for me to remove the needles. Lin Yi frowned and used his hand to seal Su Shihan's acupuncture points. He didn't let her move or scream. Then, he started to remove the needles from Su Shihan's body one by one. Su Shihan's eyes widened in shock. She didn't know what Lin Yi did to her, but it seemed like he just touched her a few times, and she couldn't move or scream anymore. It was as if she had been injected with an anesthetic, and only her eyes and thoughts were still under her control. The rest of her body didn't seem to belong to her anymore. What was this man trying to do? The next moment, Su Shihan saw Lin Yi pull out a bunch of needles from her body and put them in a small box. After doing all this, Lin Yi casually poked her body a few more times, returning her to normal. Ah! Shihan subconsciously screamed as soon as she regained her composure. Lin Yi had no choice but to cover her mouth with a frown. Stupid girl, don't call me that. If it wasn't because my girlfriend wanted to watch the concert, I wouldn't even bother to save you. Don't think that you're some celebrity. You're not even close to my girlfriend. I have no interest in you. Stop dreaming. Whoa! Su Shihan was furious. She wanted to argue, but her mouth was covered by Lin Yi. She couldn't make a sound. Did you hear me? Nod your head if you heard me. Lin Yi said coldly. Su Shihan quickly nodded. She wasn't stupid. At this time, she had regained her consciousness. The splitting headache disappeared as well. It seemed like her headache was really cured by the person in front of her. Chapter 1290. It hurts. Su Shihan covered her temples with both hands as she laid on the basin, gasping for air. She thought that she could make it through the concert, but she didn't expect that her headache would act up again in the middle of the concert. The more Su Shihan tried to calm her headache down, the more anxious she got, the more painful it became. Su Shihan. Lin Yi finally recognized her. The girl who was washing her face with cold water and screaming in pain was the superstar Su Shihan. But shouldn't Su Shihan be on the stage now? Why was she here? Moreover, it seemed like something had gone wrong. Right. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he heard Su Jiaonong and Zhao Qibing talking on the phone. They mentioned something about Su Shihan's illness. Could it be this kind of headache? With that thought, Lin Yi felt that it was very possible. Ah! Su Shihan heard someone call her name and was shocked. She raised her head and looked at Lin Yi in fear. She rushed into the bathroom to wash her face with cold water. She didn't think that there would be someone in the bathroom. This was the bathroom in the basement. Other than the staff, there shouldn't be anyone else. The staff should be busy dealing with the aftermath. Why would there be someone in the bathroom? And, looking at Lin Yi's face, Su Shihan obviously hadn't seen him before. Although it was impossible for Su Shihan to recognize every single worker in the company, most of them looked familiar. Plus, all the workers in the company wore the same badge. No matter how this person dressed, he didn't look like a worker. Who are you? Su Shihan looked at Lin Yi cautiously. You have a headache. Lin Yi frowned. He didn't want to be nosy. Lin Yi wasn't a nosy person. However, Lin Yi wasn't thinking about Su Shihan's headache, but the consequences of her headache. Since Su Shihan was here, the concert must be interrupted. If Su Shihan didn't recover, the concert would be forced to end early. This wasn't what Lin Yi wanted to see. Lin Yi didn't like Su Shihan. Whether she would continue singing or not, Lin Yi didn't look forward to it. But Xiao Xiao was looking forward to it. Xiao Xiao had been looking forward to this concert for a long time. How could Lin Yi let her down? Xiao Xiao was different from others. Every day she lived was a day less. Others might regret it if they couldn't see the concert today, but Xiao Xiao would regret it forever. Perhaps she wouldn't be able to see Su Shihan's concert for the rest of her life. In order to let Xiao Xiao have a perfect day, Lin Yi wouldn't allow the concert to end early, so he had to help Su Shihan. What do you want? Su Shihan was still very vigilant towards a stranger appearing in the bathroom. She subconsciously took 2 steps back, but the splitting headache made her steps weak. She only took 2 steps back before she fainted on the ground. Su Shihan's only thought before she fainted was to call for help. But running from the stage to the washroom had used up all the energy in her body. She didn't have any extra energy left. Lin Yi didn't expect Su Shihan to faint before he could say anything. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But Lin Yi still had to save her. He walked to Shihan's side and didn't care too much. He directly grabbed her wrist and started checking her pulse. Lin Yi felt Su Shihan's pulse and frowned. He flipped Su Shihan's eyelids and looked at her tongue, but he didn't find anything strange. This surprised Lin Yi. This Su Shihan, where did her headache come from? Of course, Lin Yi could feel Su Shihan's pain, but he couldn't find the cause yet. This was strange. But Lin Yi took out the silver needles from his pocket and sterilized them with pure qi. He started acupuncture on Su Shihan. He inserted needles into Su Shihan's chest, head, wrist, and other parts of her body. Then, he started massaging her head and chest with his energy-infused hands. Su Shihan moaned and finally woke up under Lin Yi's acupuncture and massage. But when she woke up, she saw a man pushing her to the ground. The man's hand was on her chest. Pervert. Su Shihan woke up immediately. She struggled to push Lin Yi away and got up from the ground. Don't move, wait for me to remove the needles. Lin Yi frowned and used his hand to seal Su Shihan's acupuncture points. He didn't allow her to move or scream. Then, he started to remove the needles from Su Shihan's body. Su Shihan's eyes widened. She was shocked. She didn't know what Lin Yi did to her, but it seemed like he just touched her a few times, and she couldn't move or scream anymore. It was as if she had been injected with an anesthetic, and only her eyes and thoughts were still under her control. The rest of her body didn't seem to belong to her anymore. This person, what was he trying to do? The next moment, Su Shihan saw Lin Yi remove the needles from her body and put them in a small box. After that, Lin Yi poked her body a few more times to make her go back to normal. Su Shihan subconsciously screamed when she returned to normal. Lin Yi had no choice but to cover her mouth and frowned. Stupid girl, don't scream. If it wasn't for my girlfriend wanting to watch the concert, I wouldn't even bother to save you. Don't think that you're some superstar. You can't even compare to my girlfriend. I have no interest in you. Stop dreaming. Whoa, Su Shihan was furious. She wanted to argue after hearing Lin Yi's words. But her mouth was covered by Lin Yi. She couldn't make a sound. Did you hear me? Nod if you hear me clearly. Lin Yi said coldly. Su Shihan quickly nodded. She wasn't stupid. She had regained her consciousness, and the splitting headache was gone. It seemed like her headache was really cured by the person in front of her. Chapter 1291. Su Shihan wasn't stupid, in fact, she was a smart girl. She had been in the entertainment industry for so many years, and she needed to maintain a clear head and a calm heart. So after a short moment of anger, she calmed down. This man in front of her was obviously not a normal person. She had fainted from the pain before, and this had happened before, but every time she fainted, the next time she woke up would be the next day. It wasn't that easy to wake up. But this man in front of her just used a few needles and a massage to wake her up, and her head didn't hurt at all. This was even more effective than Zhao Yaowang's miracle medicine. And what shocked her the most was that this man in front of her knew how to use acupuncture. She wasn't sure if it was called acupuncture, but it was called that in wuxia dramas. Lin Yi just used a few acupuncture points on her body, and she couldn't move or speak. She could only assume that Lin Yi knew how to use acupuncture. She was shocked that he knew how to use acupuncture and massage, but she only thought of him as a medical master. But if he knew how to use acupuncture, then he wasn't just a medical master anymore. Could it be that Lin Yi was a Wulin as well? But there were very few people in the Wulin who knew how to use acupuncture, right? Su Shihan wasn't a practitioner, but her bodyguard, Feng Sanhuang, was. She didn't know what level he was at, but from what he said, she had a certain understanding of Wulin practitioners. There were people who knew how to fight, but to be able to use acupuncture. This was unheard of. Looking at the eyes of the man in front of her, there wasn't a trace of evil in them. She knew that what he said was probably true. The eyes were the window to the soul, and especially for an actress like Su Shihan, she knew what eyes meant. The man in front of her really had no interest in her, and he wasn't just saying it. He was different from Zhao Qibing, who looked at her with lust and affection, but Lin Yi didn't. He didn't even look at her with admiration and excitement, as if he was looking at a normal person. Maybe this man was telling the truth, his girlfriend was prettier than her, and he saved her so that his girlfriend could continue to watch the concert. And so, Su Shihan nodded. But even so, she was filled with hatred towards Lin Yi. She was supposed to be grateful to Lin Yi, but she couldn't feel anything at all. Women are strange creatures, this sentence is not wrong at all. Lin Yi wasn't like Zhao Qibing, and that made her feel relieved, but Lin Yi wasn't interested in her at all, and even said that she wasn't as pretty as his girlfriend, which made her very unhappy. No matter what, she was a superstar who was the center of attention and was pampered by thousands of people. Did he not take her seriously at all? Was he blind? Plus, his reason for saving her was laughable, and it made her feel even less grateful. But in her heart, she didn't know why, but she was a little envious of Lin Yi's girlfriend. She was lucky to have a boyfriend like this. Lin Yi saw her nod and let go of the hand covering her mouth, saying faintly, "Are you done? If you're done, go back to the concert, no need to thank me. If you want to thank me, take a picture with my girlfriend after the concert, that's your reward." Hearing Lin Yi's words, Su Shihan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She didn't even say that she wanted to repay him, okay? With this attitude, he wanted her to repay him. Humph. Su Shihan was very angry. But being angry was one thing, and Su Shihan wasn't an ungrateful person. No matter what, Lin Yi helped her solve a big problem. Lin Yi's original intention wasn't important, what was important was that Su Shihan benefited from it. And so, without even thinking about it, she nodded and agreed. On one hand, it wasn't just to repay Lin Yi's kindness, but also to ask Lin Yi if he could cure her illness when they had enough time. From her point of view, Lin Yi had a way. Lin Yi's medical skills were probably higher than Zhao Yaowang's, and most importantly, Lin Yi didn't have that kind of thoughts towards her, so Su Shihan didn't worry about dealing with him, and let him treat her illness. Sure. This is my phone number, call me after the concert, and I'll send someone to pick you up. Su Shihan nodded quickly and said a string of numbers, then ran out of the washroom. Time was tight, and she had to touch up her makeup and go on stage again, so Su Shihan didn't have time to chat with Lin Yi. There was a problem with the stage, and the fans were very anxious. But there was someone who was very pleased, and that person was Su Jiaonong. The first thing he did was to call Zhao Qibing again. Master Bing, good news. Su Jiaonong said excitedly. What good news? Su Shihan agreed. Zhao Qibing paused and asked. Su Shihan's illness acted up on stage, and she said that there was a problem with the stage, but I think it's most likely her headache. Su Jiaonong said, I'm going to take Yaowang's medicine to Wang Laoshe and ask her if she agreed to your request. Ha! Good, I like taking advantage of people's difficulties. Zhao Qibing was very happy. This was a heaven-sent opportunity. Then you go now, and report to me as soon as you have good news. When Lin Yi went upstairs, he passed by the washroom on the first floor and heard the conversation between Su Jiaonong and Zhao Qibing. A playful smile appeared on his face. It seemed that Zhao Qibing's plan was going to fail. Although Lin Yi didn't have any special thoughts on whether or not Zhao Qibing was drooling over Su Shihan, but he unintentionally ruined one of Zhao Qibing's plans. Lin Yi was very satisfied. After leaving the corridor and returning to the VIP seats, Lin Yi smiled as he looked at the slowly rising stage. Su Shihan was probably going to go on stage again. Lin Yi, honey, you're back. There was a problem with the stage just now, and you left at the right time. You didn't miss any good performances, and you just came back and started again. You're so lucky. Xiao Xiao said when she saw that Lin Yi was back. Yeah, what a coincidence. If I didn't know that Shield Bro and Su Shihan didn't know each other, I would have thought that Shield Bro and Su Shihan had a date backstage. Yushu said. Chapter 1292. Hi, I'm not one of her fans, and I don't really understand, so I'm not interested. You guys watch, Lin Yi smiled, not replying to Yushu's words. The stage rose, and the concert restarted. Xiao Xiao and Yushu's attention returned to the concert, and they stood up, waving the light sticks in their hands with the other fans, celebrating the start of the concert. Lin Yi looked at Su Shihan on the stage. She seemed to be in good spirits, much better than before. Lin Yi smiled faintly. It seemed that Su Shihan was back to normal. Looking at the happy Xiao Xiao, Lin Yi felt that he made the right choice in saving Su Shihan. Of course, Su Shihan's reappearance made some happy, while others worried. Su Jiaonong didn't know that Su Shihan had reappeared. After ending the call with Zhao Qibing, he rushed to the basement and dialed Wang Wenshi's number. Hello. Wang Sis had just finished dealing with Su Shihan's matters, and she let out a sigh of relief when Su Shihan finally returned to the stage. Although she was wondering why Su Shihan was fine all of a sudden, time was of the essence, and Su Shihan didn't have time to explain. If she wanted to know the truth, she could only ask Su Shihan after the concert. Wang Sis was very familiar with Su Shihan's condition. Every time Su Shihan's illness acted up, it would hurt for a while. There was no way she could recover so quickly. And this time, it was obviously much worse than before. It seemed that Su Shihan had endured for a long time. Just as she was about to return to the resting room to watch Su Shihan's live recording, Wang Sis's phone rang. Seeing Su Jianong's name, she frowned. What was wrong with this Su Jianong? Wang Wenshi. I'm Su Jianong. Su Jianong's tone was proud and condescending. Mr. Su, what's the matter? Wang Sis asked faintly. It's like this. I heard that Miss Su's headache is acting up again. I happen to have Zhao Yaowang's medicine on me. I wonder if Wang Wenshi and Miss Su can agree to Master Bing's request. Su Jianong went straight to the point. Some things didn't need to be hidden, especially in front of an understanding person like Wang Sis. Who told you that? Xiao Han is fine. It's just that the stage malfunctioned. It seems that President Su's information is wrong. Sister Wang was a shrewd person. Although she knew that what happened before couldn't escape Su Jianong's eyes, she wouldn't admit it personally. So, she just asked without saying anything. Just now, when Su Jianong opened his mouth, Wang Sis even thought that Su Shihan had gotten the headache medicine from Su Jianong and had taken it to calm her headache. Moreover, Su Shihan had paid a price in exchange for the concert to go on as usual. Wang Jia couldn't be blamed for thinking like that. After all, only Su Jianong, the spokesperson for Zhao Qibing and Zhao Yaowang, would be able to relieve Xiaohan's headache so quickly. Other than that, Sister Wang really couldn't think of anyone else with such great ability. But with Sister Wang's understanding of Su Shihan, she knew that Su Shihan was a strong person. She would rather die from the pain than agree to Zhao Qibing's unreasonable request. This was a girl who would rather die than submit. Unless she really liked someone, she wouldn't do anything over the line. And Su Jianong's words proved Sister Wang's guess. It seemed that Su Jianong didn't know that Su Shihan had returned to the stage and was performing as if nothing had happened. That was why he said such shameless words, wanting to make a deal with Sister Wang. Wang Jianong, let's not beat around the bush. What happened to Su Shihan? Was it because of the stage malfunction or because of her own problem? We all know this. I just want to ask you, do you want the concert to continue? If you want the concert to continue, then you better agree to Master Bing's request. I have medicine with me that can help Miss Su Shihan's headache immediately. Su Jianong said. President Su, I'm sorry. I already said that your information is wrong. Why don't you believe me? The stage has been fixed and Su Shihan is performing again. If you don't believe me, you can go and see for yourself. Sister Wang smiled. President Su, I think you can see this clearly. There's no need for me to lie to you, right? This. Su Jianong froze after hearing Sister Wang's words. But he did hear the sound of singing in the stadium again. At first, he thought that it was some song for the audience. But after listening carefully, it seemed like Su Shihan was speaking. Could it be that he made a mistake? Su Shihan didn't leave the stage because of a headache, but because of the stage malfunction. After hanging up the phone, Su Jianong went back upstairs to the concert venue, only to see Su Shihan standing on the stage in perfect condition, singing and dancing. She didn't look like she was having a headache at all. This made Su Jianong extremely depressed. It was just like what Sister Wang said. Nothing happened to Su Shihan. He made a mistake. Su Jianong sighed. He had boasted to Master Bing before, but now the problem was, how was he going to explain it to Master Bing? After one climax after another, the concert finally came to an end amidst the passionate cheers of the audience. Although the fans weren't done yet, it was time to leave. After Su Shihan finished the last song, she bowed to everyone and said, "Thank you, everyone, for taking the time out of your busy schedules to attend my concert. Thank you." Although there was a small incident in the middle of the concert, the end result was very smooth. Su Shirhan. Su Shirhan. Su Shirhan. We can't bear to see you go. Su Shirhan, we love you. The cheers from the audience came one after another. Su Shirhan's eyes were a little wet. "Thank you, everyone, thank you so much. But after 4 hours, everyone is tired. I'm tired too. I hope there'll be a chance for us to meet again next time. The next concert date hasn't been set yet. Everything will have to wait for the official news from the company's website." The stage slowly descended. Su Shirhan waved to everyone and said goodbye reluctantly. Lin Yi looked at Su Shirhan. He didn't know if she was really reluctant or just putting on a show. Chapter 1293. Lin Yi, honey, why aren't you driving? Xiao Xiao asked curiously. She saw that Lin Yi didn't seem like he was going to drive after everyone else had left. "I'll bring you to take a picture with Su Shirhan later," Lin Yi said faintly. Take a picture with Su Shirhan? Xiao Xiao blinked, shocked. Are you serious? Lin Yi, honey, you're bringing me to take a picture with Su Shirhan? No way. I'm going to take a picture with her. Yes, I'll call her after the audience leaves, Lin Yi said. Shield bro, can we go too? Yushu asked quickly. I'll ask, Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi, how do you know Su Shirhan? Or rather, how did you get Xiao Xiao to take a picture with her? Meng Yao asked curiously as she looked at Lin Yi. Coincidence, I bumped into her when I went to the washroom, Lin Yi shrugged with a smile. Wow, Shield bro, you're so strong. You bumped into Su Shirhan when you went to the washroom. Prophet Shu, you're so strong. I told you that Shield bro and Su Shirhan were going on a secret date. Yushu exclaimed. It's not a date, it's just a coincidence, Lin Yi said. Most of the people had left, and most of the cars were gone. Lin Yi took out his phone and dialed Su Shirhan's number. Hello. The call connected quickly, but it wasn't Su Shirhan who picked up. It was another girl. Lin Yi frowned. Could it be that Su Shirhan tricked him and gave him a fake number? Or did he remember wrongly? That couldn't be right. Is this Miss Su's number? Lin Yi didn't say Su Shirhan's name, only Miss Su. If he really dialed the wrong number and called Su Shirhan directly, she might think he was crazy. May I ask who you are? Wang Sis paused. It was an unknown number, and the caller didn't call the wrong number, calling Su Shirhan Miss Su. This made Wang Sis a little suspicious. The person who treated her. You'll know once you talk to her, Lin Yi said lightly. Oh. Please wait a moment. Wang Sis was taken aback. She quickly turned around and walked to Su Shirhan's side. Han, someone's calling, saying that it's the person who's going to treat you. At this moment, Su Shirhan had just removed her makeup and changed her clothes. Hearing Wang Sis's words, she immediately said, Ah, he's looking for me. Wang Sis, give me the phone. Su Shirhan was still wondering if Lin Yi would call her, but it had been so long since the concert ended, and she still hadn't received a call from Lin Yi. This made her feel lost and uneasy. What if Lin Yi didn't remember the number or didn't call? Because she was in a hurry and didn't have her phone, pen, and paper with her, she didn't ask for Lin Yi's number. Now that she wanted to contact Lin Yi, she couldn't. So when Wang Sis said that Lin Yi was calling, Su Shirhan didn't dare to delay. She quickly asked for the phone. Wang Sis was slightly stunned. She didn't expect Su Shirhan to be so proactive. Wang Sis wanted to ask Su Shihan how she got her headache after coming down from the stage, but she didn't have time because Su Shihan was removing her makeup and changing her clothes. Now, the person who treated her was calling. Could it be that Su Shihan's headache was cured by this mysterious person? "I'm Su Shihan," Su Shihan said calmly after taking the phone. "It's me. I'm bringing my girlfriend to you for a photo." Lin Yi asked. "Okay, I'll get someone to pick you up. Just meet me at the stairs of the basement," Su Shihan said. "Okay, I'll go now. There are a few friends who want to take a photo with you. Can we go together?" Lin Yi asked. Can we do it next time? The company has rules. I can't bring too many non-staff backstage. Why don't you come first, and after you leave, I'll let your friends come in," Su Shihan said after thinking for a while. "Then forget it. It's so troublesome. I won't make it difficult for you. We'll talk about it next time." Lin Yi could tell that Su Shihan wasn't rejecting him, but there were people in the company. She couldn't make the decision. This was a very normal thing. After all, not just anyone could enter the backstage. Although Su Shihan was a big star, she could bring in 1 or 2 people, but she couldn't bring in so many people at once. It was a bit difficult for her. So Lin Yi didn't want to make it difficult for her. "It's not that troublesome. How about this, you come in first. When I leave, we'll find a place where there's no one and take a photo with your friends outside." Su Shihan thought that Lin Yi had helped her so much before. If she didn't repay him, she would feel bad. Lin Yi's request was very simple. It was just a photo. If she couldn't do it, Su Shihan would feel very guilty. "That works." Lin Yi nodded. "Then I'll go now." After hanging up, Lin Yi turned to Meng Yao, Shu, and Tang Yun in the back. "I'll go in with Xiao Xiao first. You guys wait for me in the car. We can't have too many people backstage. When Su Shihan comes out, you guys can take a photo with her." "Okay. If it's too troublesome, it's fine." Tang Yun nodded. Meng Yao and Yushu didn't have any objections to this. After all, their goal was to make Xiao Xiao happy. Everything was for Xiao Xiao to be happy. They didn't care. Although the opportunity to take a photo with Su Shihan was rare, there was a saying that as long as one was alive, there was hope. They were still young, but Xiao Xiao was different. "Let's go, Xiao Xiao." Lin Yi opened the door and pulled Xiao Xiao out of the car. Xiao Xiao was a little embarrassed at this. Everyone couldn't go, and only she had this privilege. This made her excited, but at the same time, a little embarrassed. Xiao Xiao knew why everyone was letting her go. She sighed and didn't say anything. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao went back to the gymnasium. At this time, all the fans had left, and the gymnasium was empty again. Other than the cleaning staff, there was no one else. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao went to the first floor's stairs and saw a man waiting there. Seeing this man, Lin Yi's eyes froze. Not because he knew this man, but because this man was a mystic late-phase peak. Chapter 1294. Lin Yi didn't expect to meet such a master in this gymnasium. If he wasn't mistaken, this person should be Su Shihan's bodyguard. Otherwise, Su Shihan wouldn't have asked him to wait here for her. Lin Yi was surprised that Su Shihan had such a powerful bodyguard. How could a celebrity have such a powerful bodyguard? How much would it cost to hire such a master? Was it a coincidence, or was there an unknown power behind Su Shihan? "Is there anything I can help you with?" When Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao walked down the stairs, Feng Sanhuang walked up and asked faintly. He didn't ask if Lin Yi was looking for Su Shihan, but asked what was the matter. This meant that even if Feng Sanhuang was sure that Lin Yi was the person Su Shihan wanted to meet, he still asked out of caution. I called Su Shihan. She asked you to come pick us up, right? Lin Yi asked. The two of you, please follow me. Feng Sanhuang nodded and didn't say much. He brought Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao to a resting room. Feng Sanhuang knocked on the door and pushed it open. Miss Su, the person you want to meet is here. Please come in. With that, Feng Sanhuang gestured for Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao to enter. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao entered the resting room together. Su Shihan was resting on the sofa. When she saw Lin Yi, she quickly stood up and went to greet him personally. It didn't matter if she didn't like Lin Yi, but Lin Yi was her savior. If it weren't for him, the concert would have been ruined. So Su Shihan was still very polite to Lin Yi. You're here. Thank you so much for what you did before. I was in a rush and didn't have time to thank you. It's okay, I already said that I'm just helping my girlfriend finish the concert. Lin Yi waved his hand, looking at Su Shihan indifferently. Wow, wow, wow. You're really Su Shihan. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was very excited to see the superstar she liked standing in front of her. It really is Su Shihan. So you look even more beautiful and pure without makeup. You're pretty too, your boyfriend says you're prettier than me. Su Shihan smiled. But, as she spoke, she glared at Lin Yi, unsatisfied. She had to admit that Xiao Xiao was pretty, but she wasn't that bad herself. At most, it was a tie. They were about the same. Why was his girlfriend so much prettier than him? Of course not. Hee, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Xiao Xiao said, but she felt sweet inside. It seemed that Lin Yi's husband liked her a lot. Even Su Shihan's charm wasn't as good as hers. Not really, he has good taste. I can see that he treats you very well. Su Shihan shook her head, envious of Xiao Xiao. She was so lucky to have such a loyal boyfriend. A beauty like her was in front of Lin Yi, but he didn't care at all. It was as if she was a floating cloud. He didn't care about how pretty she was, he only had eyes for his girlfriend. Many men who saw her would want to take a picture with her or get intimate with her, but Lin Yi didn't seem to have that intention at all. Even if he wanted to take a picture with her, it would be with his girlfriend. He didn't even want to take a picture with her. You think he's nice too? Xiao Xiao was a little excited at Su Shihan's words. She felt that there was something going on between Lin Yi and Su Shihan. Otherwise, why would a superstar like Su Shihan be so nice to Lin Yi? Could it be that Su Shihan had her eyes on Lin Yi as well? With that thought, Xiao Xiao felt that it was possible, and hearing Su Shihan's envious tone, she was even more sure of it. Su Shihan was probably interested in Lin Yi's husband. If that was the case, then she'd help out. Ah. Su Shihan paused. How about you be Lin Yi's husband's girlfriend too? Then we'll go home and have a threesome. Xiao Xiao had been hanging out with Yushu lately, and her words had become a lot more aggressive. She was starting to become more like Yushu. But it was because she didn't have much time left, and she didn't have to worry so much anymore. Ah. Su Shihan's eyes widened, and her face reddened. What? A threesome? Did she hear wrongly? Lin Yi was waiting for Xiao Xiao as if nothing had happened, but when he heard Xiao Xiao's words, he almost fell to the ground. What did she say? A threesome with Su Shihan. Lin Yi remembered the wish on Xiao Xiao's phone, and he didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Ahem. Xiao Xiao, didn't you want a picture? Hurry up and take a picture, stop joking around. Lin Yi scolded. He was afraid that Xiao Xiao would say something else if she kept talking. Ah, right. A picture. I almost forgot. Xiao Xiao slapped her forehead and exclaimed. She was a little aroused when she saw Su Shihan, and then she started talking incoherently, forgetting why she was here in the first place. Now that she remembered, she quickly said, "Wait for me to dress up, I'll be right there. Let me use the dressing room." With that, Xiao Xiao ran into the dressing room in the lounge, preparing to fix her appearance. Seeing Xiao Xiao run over, Lin Yi didn't stop her. Using this chance, Lin Yi quickly walked in front of Su Shihan. There were some things he had to explain to her. "Miss Su, don't take my girlfriend's words seriously. She likes to mess around." Lin Yi sighed and lowered his voice. "Actually, she has a terminal illness, she won't be able to hold on much longer. So, don't argue with her." "Aw." Su Shihan froze at Lin Yi's words. After hearing Xiao Xiao's words, her impression of Xiao Xiao and Lin Yi really did drop. She even wondered if Lin Yi was a hypocrite. He looked like a loyal person, but in reality, he was just like Xiao Qibing, the type of person who liked women. But now that she heard Lin Yi's explanation, she was shocked. "She has a terminal illness. That's why I didn't want your concert to stop halfway." Lin Yi nodded. "She likes you, and one of her wishes is to see your concert and take a picture with you. I don't want her to leave this world with disappointment, that's why I saved you. So you don't have to feel anything for me. I saved you because I didn't want Xiao Xiao to be disappointed." Chapter 1295. Chapter 1293, A Superstar's Request. In fact, Shihan understood that Lin Yi didn't like her. In Lin Yi's eyes, she was no different from a stranger, so it was normal that Lin Yi didn't save her. Why would she think that Lin Yi would save her? So she didn't mind what Lin Yi said. Powerful? Maybe, but there are always regrets in life. No matter how powerful someone is, there are always things they can't do. We aren't omnipotent. Lin Yi shook his head and said sadly, "She lacks a medicine, and it's hard to find nowadays." "Yeah, we aren't omnipotent." Shihan sighed and nodded. "So that's how it is. She's so pitiful, that's why her way of thinking is a bit weird. Don't mind it, I've seen some of her wishes. One of them is that if she's a boy, she wants to push you down, if she's a girl, she wants to do that. That's indirectly pushing you down." Lin Yi explained for Xiao Xiao. He didn't want Shihan to misunderstand her. As for Lin Yi himself, it didn't matter. Misunderstanding or not, it didn't matter. Ha! Shihan paused after hearing Lin Yi's words. "Is that so? Your girlfriend's way of thinking is really weird." Yeah, she knew that she wouldn't live past 20. It's normal that her way of thinking is different from others. Lin Yi said, "So Miss Su, I hope that you can spend more time with her. Consider it a request of mine." "Of course, no problem," Shihan agreed. Shihan agreed right away. Now that the misunderstanding was cleared up, she felt quite sympathetic towards Xiao Xiao. In the past, Shihan thought that she was very unlucky, having a family tragedy since she was young, and now she had a headache that felt like it was going to explode at any moment. But compared to Xiao Xiao, all of that was nothing. Very quickly, Xiao Xiao came running out of the dressing room, and Lin Yi stopped talking and moved to the side. Shihan had a professional photographer with her, and she told Wang Sis about it, and Wang Sis got the photographer over to take a photo of her and Xiao Xiao. Since Shihan knew about Xiao Xiao's background, she was very patient and serious when taking photos, not showing any impatience at all. Wow, I never thought that one day I would be able to take so many pictures with Su Shihan. Lin Yi honey, come take a picture with us. Xiao Xiao waved at Lin Yi excitedly. "I'm not taking pictures. You guys take pictures. I don't like taking pictures." Lin Yi waved his hand. He wasn't interested in taking pictures with celebrities. Come on, Lin Yi honey, treat it as keeping me company. Xiao Xiao said, a little reluctant. Alright, then I'll take one. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and walked over. Shirhan was seething with anger. I'm a superstar. There are so many people who want to take pictures with me, and you don't like taking pictures. Do you think I want to take pictures with you? Humph. If it weren't for you helping me once, and Xiao Xiao being so pitiful, do you think I'd be that free? Keeping you guys company for fun. But she could only say this in her heart, cursing Lin Yi 1,000 times in her heart. She couldn't say it out loud. Lin Yi stood beside Xiao Xiao, putting Xiao Xiao in the middle of the picture. Shirhan was even more annoyed. Didn't she always put herself in the middle when taking pictures with other people, and the other person stood on either side of her? But now, he had become a foil for her. And so, this picture, Shirhan didn't smile. She pursed her lips and finished the picture, feeling wronged, as if she was a punching bag. After taking the pictures, Shirhan's employees were almost done packing up. Everyone was getting ready to leave for the celebration party. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, was satisfied. She didn't want to bother Shirhan anymore. Miss Su, thank you. Lin Yi nodded to Shirhan. No matter what, Xiao Xiao was happy today. Lin Yi's impression of Shirhan improved. You're welcome. I didn't do anything. Shirhan shook her head with a smile. Then Xiao Xiao and I won't bother you anymore. We'll leave first. I can see that you guys have other things to do. You're going to the celebration party, right? We'll leave first. As for taking pictures with my friend, we'll talk about it when we have the chance. Lin Yi didn't want to trouble Shirhan too much. After all, he took up so much of her time today. Lin Yi felt bad. Mr. Lin, please wait. Su Shirhan hesitated. I do need to go to the celebration party later, but can I invite you and Miss Feng to come too? Shirhan had two reasons for doing this. First, she wanted to ask Lin Yi if her headache could be cured. After all, this illness had been tormenting her for so many years. If there was a chance to get better, she wouldn't let it go. Secondly, Shirhan really did sympathize with Xiao Xiao, and bringing her to the celebration was to spend more time with her. Join the celebration party. Lin Yi frowned. He was suspicious of Shirhan's goal. Although he did help Shirhan, Shirhan accompanied Xiao Xiao to take pictures with her. That counted as returning the favor. No matter what, they didn't owe each other anything. Now that Shirhan invited him and Xiao Xiao to her celebration party, it was a bit too warm. Could it be that she had another goal? Lin Yi wasn't stupid. Shirhan's goal was to cure her illness. Her headache was only temporarily suppressed by his acupuncture and massage, but it would still come back. If Shirhan wanted to find him, other than this goal, Lin Yi couldn't think of any other reason. Mr. Lin, tell me the truth. Su Shirhan hesitated and didn't hide anything. First of all, I feel like Miss Xiao Xiao and I are very close. I don't have many friends, so I want to make Xiao Xiao my friend. Second, I have some questions about my body that I want to ask you, Mr. Lin. Ha! Lin Yi was surprised by Shirhan's honesty, but his impression of her improved a bit. Let's ask Xiao Xiao for her opinion. Lin Yi's words meant that he didn't reject Shirhan's suggestion. He wanted her to ask for Xiao Xiao's opinion. If Xiao Xiao agreed, then he'd be fine with it. Lin Yi's mind was on Xiao Xiao. As long as she was happy, it was fine. Chapter 1296. Chapter 1294, You're not sick, Xiao Xiao, what do you think? Shirhan turned to Xiao Xiao. She said this from the bottom of her heart. She didn't know why, but the moment she saw Xiao Xiao, she felt a sense of closeness. Really? Can I go? Xiao Xiao naturally wanted to go, but she raised her head to look at Lin Yi. Then let's go. I'll call Meng Yao and the others and tell them to go back first, Lin Yi nodded. That's great. Xiao Xiao said happily. The Miss, Shu, and Tang Yun were easy to talk to. Lin Yi told them about the situation, and they said that there was no problem. They went back to wait for Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao. It was obvious that the three of them had the same opinion about Xiao Xiao. Wang Sis knew that Shirhan's headache was solved by Lin Yi, so she didn't think that it was inappropriate for Shirhan to invite Lin Yi to the celebration party. Plus, it wasn't just people from the company at the celebration banquet. There were some famous people from the society as well, so bringing Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao wasn't a problem. Lin Yi, Xiao Xiao, and Shirhan walked out of the gym side by side. San Huang, on the other hand, stood next to Shirhan. It didn't look like much, but Lin Yi could feel that he was on high alert. As a mystic late-phase peak spiritual practitioner, he was able to do this for a superstar. It surprised Lin Yi. Is Miss Su's bodyguard very responsible? Staying close to her, the salary must be quite high, right? Lin Yi smiled and asked casually. It's alright, it's a bit more expensive than normal bodyguards, 30,000 a month, Shirhan didn't hide it and said directly. 30,000. It is indeed more expensive than normal, Lin Yi nodded, but he was even more surprised and confused. A spiritual practitioner at the peak of mystic late phase costs 30,000 a month. If he were to become a bodyguard for a noble house, not to mention 30,000, even 300,000 would be too little. Back when Lin Yi was Mingyao's bodyguard as a golden class, he already earned this much after a month, and Lin Yi relied on old Lin's introduction. And so, Lin Yi was quite curious about this San Huang. But, Lin Yi didn't ask. San Huang evidently didn't know that Lin Yi had seen through his strength, and his face was still expressionless. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao got in Shirhan's SUV together. Xiao Xiao and Shirhan sat together in the same row, while Lin Yi sat on the other side of the car. Mr. Lin, sorry for interrupting. Can we talk about my health? About my headache. Shirhan had already told him about how she met Lin Yi, as well as about her headache. Honey, can you take a look at her? Poor Su Shirhan, she gets headaches all the time. Xiao Xiao and Su Shirhan were very close, so she was naturally worried about her condition. Since Lin Yi came, he naturally expected this. He didn't reject and grabbed Shirhan's arm, feeling her pulse again. Shirhan blushed when Lin Yi grabbed her arm. She had never been so close to a man before. Although Lin Yi was treating her, she still felt a little embarrassed, especially when his girlfriend was right next to him. San Huang sat at the back of the car, and when he saw Lin Yi grab Shirhan's arm, his face changed slightly, but since Shirhan didn't say anything, he didn't stand up to stop him. Feng San Huang was sitting at the back of the car, and his face changed slightly when he saw Lin Yi grabbing Su Shirhan's arm, but Su Shirhan didn't say anything, so he didn't stand up to stop him. More than 10 years. I don't know when it started, I was too young. Shirhan frowned as if she was recalling the past. Her face showed a painful expression. It's been more than 10 years. I don't know exactly when it started, I was too young. Shirhan frowned as if she was recalling the past. Her face couldn't help but show a pained expression. But then, Shirhan's face became extremely pale, and cold sweat dripped down her forehead. What she didn't expect was that the headache started again. And at this time, coincidentally or not, it gave Lin Yi the chance to check. Headache. Shirhan held her head with both hands and said with difficulty, it started again. Lin Yi frowned and quickly checked Shirhan's pulse, eyelids, tongue, and other parts of her body, but he didn't find anything abnormal. After thinking for a while, Lin Yi took out the needles and started treating Shirhan. This time, Shirhan was in a conscious state, so when Lin Yi's hand touched her chest, Shirhan's face showed a touch of shyness, but she also knew that Lin Yi wasn't taking advantage of her, he was really treating her. She knew Lin Yi very well, and she knew Lin Yi's character very well. To say that Lin Yi had any thoughts towards her, Shirhan absolutely didn't believe it. She could see from the photo that Lin Yi wasn't interested in her, and when he checked her pulse, Lin Yi was just doing his routine. He let go after touching her, he didn't even want to touch her for a while longer. How could such a person take advantage of her? Moreover, his girlfriend was watching from the side, how would he dare to do it? Wait, it seemed like her girlfriend was very supportive of him doing anything to her. Thinking up to here, Shirhan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This girlfriend, she was the best, right? However, when Lin Yi was doing this, Wang Sis was a bit nervous. Shirhan was a public figure after all, it didn't seem right to let a man touch her chest so intimately. But since it was a treatment, and Shirhan didn't object, Wang Sis could only watch nervously. And Feng Sanhuang was also very nervous, his eyes staring straight at Lin Yi, as if Lin Yi did anything wrong, he would rush up and kill Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't feel anything towards Wang Sis's gaze, but towards a master like Feng Sanhuang, Lin Yi maintained enough vigilance. Who knew where he came from? Lin Yi didn't dare to guarantee that he wouldn't suddenly attack when he was treating Shirhan. Much better. Shirhan looked at Lin Yi gratefully, much better, my head doesn't hurt anymore. Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything, he quickly put away all the silver needles on Shirhan's body. You're not sick, you're very healthy. Lin Yi confirmed this time, and very seriously said to Shirhan. Ah. Shirhan suddenly froze, she looked at Lin Yi strangely, I'm not sick. Very healthy. What do you mean? Chapter 1297. A painful past, not sick. Su Shirhan froze, you mean, my body is not sick. Then my headache. The headache exists, but there's nothing wrong with your body. Lin Yi explained, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with your body to cause headaches. You can still have headaches even if there's nothing wrong with your body. There are many factors that can cause headaches. For example, you've encountered some troublesome things, or you've encountered some sad things, all of these can cause headaches. Business going bankrupt, family and friends passing away, these can also cause headaches. Then Su Shirhan suddenly remembered that she went to see a famous doctor in Songshan City before. After a detailed examination, the conclusion was that she was not sick. Other hospitals also couldn't find any problems. Could it be that what Lin Yi said was true? When that famous doctor gave this conclusion, Wang Sis even said that he was a liar. Su Shirhan didn't say anything at that time. After all, although that famous doctor gave the conclusion, he couldn't cure her. But now, Su Shirhan kind of believed in Lin Yi's words, because Lin Yi's medical skills were obviously better than that person, even better than Zhao Yaowang. So Su Shirhan still believed in Lin Yi's conclusion. She was just a bit shocked. After Wang Sis heard Lin Yi's words, she couldn't help but frown. She wanted to say something, but she also saw Lin Yi's medical skills, so she didn't say anything in the end. But, I don't have any headaches or pressure right now. Su Shirhan hesitated and asked. I didn't say right now. I asked you before, when did your headaches start? You told me that it was when you were very young. This means that it happened when you were very young. At that time, you encountered something that gave you headaches. Maybe it's life, maybe it's your family or friends. But this thing hasn't been solved yet, so your headaches have continued until now. Lin Yi said, this is a psychological hint, a knot in your heart. It's not a physical problem. Ah. Su Shihan listened to Lin Yi's analysis and couldn't help but look at Lin Yi in shock. It wasn't that Lin Yi's words were shocking, but Lin Yi's words just happened to hit the nail on the head. Lin Yi was right. When she was young, she indeed encountered something that made her heartbroken. Every time she thought about it, Su Shihan would have a splitting headache, so she could only try her best not to think about it. However, before, Su Shihan didn't think that this matter had anything to do with her headaches. In her mind, her headaches were always there, and whenever she thought about these sad things, it would trigger the headaches. But she never thought that these sad things were the source of her headaches. At this time, Wang Jia also looked at Lin Yi in shock. Before, she still had some doubts about what Lin Yi said about Su Shihan not having an illness, but now, she didn't doubt it at all. Su Shihan's painful past when she was young was no secret to Wang Jia, but Lin Yi was an outsider. It was impossible for him to know the secret. The only possibility for him to say this was that his diagnosis was correct. Maybe you're right. When I was young, I did encounter some sad things. This is a knot in my heart, and I haven't untied it yet. Su Shihan sighed and said softly, "Are you willing to listen to me? Let's hear it." Lin Yi nodded. There were no outsiders in the car. Today, Su Shihan was riding in the company's large business car. The driver's cabin was separated from the back, so only Lin Yi, Xiao Xiao, Wang Sis, and Feng Sanhuang could hear her words. Wang Sis and Feng Sanhuang obviously knew about these things. From their expressions, Lin Yi could tell this. He could tell that they were close to Su Shihan. She didn't hide it from them. When I was young, I always lived with my mom. Dad only came to visit us once in a while. At that time, I asked my mom, why didn't Dad stay with us every day? My mom told me that Dad was very busy with his career, and he didn't have that much time. He only came to visit us occasionally when he was free. At that time, I didn't know much. I thought that what my mom said was true, but after I grew up, I gradually understood that I was an illegitimate daughter. I took my mom's surname, and even now, I don't know what Dad's surname is. When I was 4, one night, a vicious woman suddenly barged into our house. She called my mom a little bitch, called me a little bastard. At this point, Su Shihan's face darkened. After thinking about it, that woman was probably Dad's legal wife. That woman and her subordinates wanted to kill me and my mother. In order to save me, my mother was severely injured by that woman, but in the end, she still managed to escape from that woman's clutches. After that, Mom fainted on the way, and I wanted to call for help, but I got lost and was sent to an orphanage. I was too young then, and when I grew up, I went to that place to look for Mom, but I couldn't find her. After that, I never saw my mom again. I don't know if she's already. At this point, Su Shihan's tears flowed out of her eyes, and she started sobbing. Although Su Shihan's story was intermittent, but Lin Yi already understood the tragic story that Su Shihan was telling. It seemed that Su Shihan's mother was a woman that the man kept outside, but was found out by his wife. She brought people to get rid of the problem, but the mother and daughter managed to escape. And Su Shihan, without her father and mother, this knot in her heart, it would be strange if it could be solved. Miss Su, I'm sorry for your loss. Life is unpredictable, but Miss Su's current achievements are also unattainable by ordinary people. I can't help you with this, it's not an illness, you have to rely on yourself. Lin Yi sighed. Thank you. No matter what, I still have to thank you. I found the source of my headache. Su Shihan said. Then what should I do now? Chapter 1298. Are you threatening me? Thank you, Mr. Lin. Shihan was very grateful after hearing Lin Yi's words. Although that Zhao Yaowang's painkiller was very effective, compared to Zhao Qibing, Lin Yi wouldn't make those unreasonable requests. It's fine, you don't have to thank me. Since you and Xiao Xiao hit it off, we're friends now. Lin Yi recognized Shirhan as a friend because of Xiao Xiao. Okay, how much is the medicine you gave me? Although we're friends, I can't take advantage of you when it comes to medical fees, Shirhan nodded. Forget about the money, we're not friends. I might not do it even if you give me money, Lin Yi waved his hand. If you want it, I'll give it to you. That won't do, this is a different matter. My headache is a long-term problem, and I'll be asking you for medicine in the future. I can't just give it to you for free, can I? Shirhan said. That won't happen. You can only take the medicine I gave you for a short period of time, but Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company's painkiller pill is going to be released soon. You can buy it yourself then. It's my prescription, the effect is the same, Lin Yi said. Ah! Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company. Shirhan's eyes widened, and she turned around to look at Wang Sis. She blushed. Are you talking about Guanshu Amin's Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine company? It just opened recently, and there's a new product on the market. You know about it? Yes, I told Fatty Lai to invite you as a guest, but you rejected him, Lin Yi remembered. Ugh. Shirhan stuck her tongue out. I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were involved in that company. If I knew, I would have come. I hope you don't mind. It's fine, it's just a new product launch, Lin Yi didn't mind, I just wanted to be a celebrity. And, can I be your spokesperson? Don't worry, it's free. Su Shirhan felt that if she didn't do something, she would feel bad. That's fine too. It'll be great if you're free. Lin Yi didn't mind. It was good to have a celebrity effect. Wang Sis listened to Su Shirhan's suggestion and didn't stop her. After all, Su Shirhan received a huge favor from Lin Yi today. She thought that Su Shirhan's headache was going to fail again, but she didn't think that Lin Yi would solve the problem. This way, not only did he not have to worry about Zhao Qibing's mood, but Lin Yi also looked more reliable than Zhao Yaowang, who was covered in lightning rods. Then it's settled. Shirhan nodded as if she had to be Lin Yi's spokesperson no matter what. Xiao Xiao listened to Su Shirhan's story and felt that she was a pitiful person. She wasn't even as happy as her short-lived self. However, Xiao Xiao didn't say anything. She didn't want to affect Lin Yi's treatment, so she sat quietly on the side until everything was settled. She said excitedly, Su Shirhan, I can see you often in the future. Haha, yeah, Xiao Xiao, come and play with me often. Shirhan smiled, Mr. Lin has my phone number, you can call me when the time comes. Call me Lin Yi, Mr. Lin is a bit awkward, Lin Yi said. That's fine, then don't call me Miss Su, call me Su Shirhan or Han, Shirhan nodded. Right, have you seen Zhao Qibing before? Lin Yi suddenly remembered the conversation between Su Jiaonang and Zhao Qibing outside the washroom on the first floor of the stadium. Yeah, I did. But Zhao Qibing's request was too difficult for me, so I didn't go to him for treatment, Shirhan said with an unnatural expression on her face. That's good, it's best if you don't see him, it's easy to die, Lin Yi reminded. Ah. Die. Shirhan blinked. It's nothing, as long as you don't see them again, Lin Yi didn't explain much. The car drove slowly on the road and arrived at Songshan Starlight Hotel. Su Shirhan's celebration banquet was held here. The entertainment company had invited some celebrities to attend the banquet. Lin Yi, Xiao Xiao, wait for me at the party. I need to go on stage to do my makeup, Shirhan said apologetically to Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao after getting off the car. After all, this was the procedure of the party, and Shirhan couldn't change it. She could only ignore Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao for the time being. No problem, don't worry about us, we'll be fine. Lin Yi shrugged nonchalantly. He brought Xiao Xiao here mainly to see Shirhan. Lin Yi didn't really care. After getting off the car, Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao took the invitation card from Wang Sis and walked towards the hotel. Shirhan and Wang Sis, on the other hand, followed the staff to change into their dresses. "Mr. Lin, please wait." Lin Yi only took 2 steps before he was stopped. It was Shirhan's bodyguard, Feng Sanhuang. "What's the matter?" Lin Yi stopped and turned around. "Mr. Lin, I hope you won't divulge Miss Sue's condition and what she told you today. Otherwise, I can't guarantee your safety." Feng Sanhuang walked over, lowered his voice, and said coldly. Feng Sanhuang wasn't afraid that it would affect Shirhan's image, but he was afraid that his master's enemies and the mistress of the house would hear about it. It would bring unnecessary trouble. "Are you threatening me?" Lin Yi didn't get angry. Instead, he smiled and looked at Feng Sanhuang. Lin Yi didn't think that Feng Sanhuang would be this loyal, chasing after him just to tell him these things. "You can think of it that way, even if you're a mystic mid-phase peak," Feng Sanhuang said faintly. Lin Yi heard Feng Sanhuang's words and was slightly surprised. He didn't think that Feng Sanhuang could tell his strength level already. But after thinking for a while, Lin Yi understood why Feng Sanhuang knew his strength level. When Lin Yi used his qi to disinfect the needles, he only used his qi for a split second. He didn't think that Feng Sanhuang would sense it. "Don't think that just because you're a mystic late-phase peak spiritual practitioner, you can talk big in front of me like this." Lin Yi looked at Feng Sanhuang and said, "I'm a person who can be persuaded but not cowed. I won't betray my friends, but you're not my friend. If there's nothing else, I'll leave first." Chapter 1299. Who was this person? It wasn't surprising that he could tell Lin Yi's strength level because Lin Yi had shown his strength when he was sterilizing the needles. But Feng Sanhuang was sure that he hadn't used his qi at all from the beginning to the end, so how did Lin Yi discover his true strength? This made Feng Sanhuang very surprised. Feng Sanhuang didn't know if Lin Yi was telling the truth or not, but from the fact that Lin Yi could tell his strength and was so calm in front of him, it should be true. In other words, Lin Yi could fight against a mystic late-phase peak master. Feng Sanhuang felt that he was being a busybody for the first time. But Lin Yi's words made him feel relieved. He said that he wouldn't betray his friends. So Feng Sanhuang shook his head and quickly caught up with Su Shirhan's team. "Lin Yi honey, what's the meaning of this bodyguard? Is he threatening us? And he's a mystic late-phase peak?" Xiao Xiao asked in surprise after Feng Sanhuang left. "And, indeed, this person is a bit mysterious." Lin Yi nodded. "I don't know why a mystic late-phase peak like him would lower himself to be Su Shirhan's bodyguard, and he only gets 30,000 a month, it's too cheap. But I can see that he's doing this for Su Shirhan's sake. He's threatening us because of Su Shirhan, so as long as he's good to her, it's fine." "It has nothing to do with us," Xiao Xiao said. "Yeah, it has nothing to do with us." Lin Yi held Xiao Xiao's hand and entered the hotel. Because of the photo in the gymnasium, they were delayed a bit, so Su Shirhan, the staff, and Lin Yi were the last to arrive at the hotel. As for the invited celebrities, they had already arrived at the star-studded banquet hall. Lin Yi entered the banquet hall with Wang Sis' invitation and brought Xiao Xiao to a corner to sit down. Lin Yi was very low-key, because in the banquet hall, Lin Yi saw a few familiar faces. Cihua, Xiao Qibing, Xiao Wangdao, Xiao Wangba, and Wu Chintian who was with them. In addition, there was another person who looked familiar to Lin Yi, as if he had seen him somewhere before. Who was this person? "Isn't that Iron Fist Wu, that idiot?" Xiao Xiao saw Chintian as well. And those 2 idiot brothers from the Xiao family. It's him. Let's not care about them. We'll wait for Su Shirhan here. Lin Yi was not interested in these people. As long as they did not take the initiative to provoke Lin Yi, then Lin Yi was not interested in finding trouble with them. Qibing was very happy today. He knew that Shirhan wouldn't welcome him to the celebration, but as one of the young masters of Songshan City, he still got an invitation from the entertainment company. The entertainment company didn't know about the feud between Su Shirhan and Zhao Qibing. As long as it was a young master in Songshan, the entertainment company would send an invitation card. Although Su Shirhan was a celebrity and had no scandals, sometimes, she still needed the participation of these young masters to raise her value. How could a superstar with no one chasing after her be a superstar? Master Bing, your leg. Why isn't it healed yet? Xiao Wangba looked at Qibing's wheelchair curiously. Qibing's leg had been broken for so long, and with Yaowang beside him, it should be healed soon. Why was he still in a wheelchair? Let's not talk about it anymore. Qibing's face darkened. Wasn't it because of Lin Yi? But now, he couldn't do anything to Lin Yi at all. Wang Ba saw that Qibing's face wasn't looking good, so he didn't bring up the topic anymore. He changed the topic. Although the Xiao family had the support of the hidden house Pai and had changed a lot, House Xiao was a hidden house to begin with. Compared to them, the Xiao family was still a head lower. Naturally, he didn't dare to act rashly in front of Qibing. Master Bing, Su Shirhan is a beauty. Do you have any ideas on how to get her back? Wang Ba asked. In fact, the Xiao family brothers came here with the intention of getting close to her, but since Qibing was here, they naturally had to ask for his opinion. It wouldn't look good if they fought with Qibing. As for Wu Qintian, there was no need to worry. He came here to accompany the Xiao family brothers. He had been hanging out with the Xiao family brothers for a while now, so they were very familiar with each other. But Qintian was very infatuated with Sun Jingyi, so he wasn't interested in playing with celebrities. Ha, you're right. I'm here for Su Shirhan. Qibing laughed. This Su Shirhan, she's even prettier in real life than on TV. That girl, after one look at her, my heart itches so much, I really want to carry her to bed right now. Qibing chuckled. Qibing smiled. Zhao Qibing didn't hold back at all, his voice loud and clear. In fact, he was saying it for the people around him to hear. Most of the people here knew Zhao Qibing, and they all knew that he had a powerful background. So with what he said, even if someone wanted to do something to Shirhan, they'd have to think twice about Zhao Qibing. I see. Then I wish you success, Zhao bro, and get the beauty back. Wang Ba's face was a little unnatural. He had the same idea, but now he could only be a foil for Qibing. He couldn't help it. He was a disciple of a hidden house, after all. Qintian, on the other hand, didn't feel anything. He was chatting with the young man that Lin Yi was familiar with. It seemed like Qintian was trying to get into the young man's good books, and the young man was talking to Qintian calmly, as if he didn't like Qintian at all. Who was this person? Lin Yi frowned, trying to figure out the young man's identity. Lin Yi was 100% sure that he'd seen this person before, but he couldn't remember where he'd seen this person at the moment. But he was sure that this person wasn't very familiar with him, or else he wouldn't be unable to remember anything after thinking for so long. Just when Lin Yi was thinking about who this person was, there was a commotion in the crowd, and music started playing. It seemed like Su Shirhan was going to appear. Chapter 1300. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. As these people entered the hall, the guests quieted down and focused their attention on Su Shirhan. Su Shirhan walked to the front of the stage, and under the warm applause of the guests, she walked up the stage with the middle-aged man. Wang Sis and Feng Sanhuang, on the other hand, stood below the stage. They were her manager and bodyguards, so they couldn't go on stage with Su Shihan. Thank you, everyone, for coming to our company's Miss Su Shihan's concert. The middle-aged man started speaking after he got on stage. As the CEO of the entertainment company, he was naturally the first to speak. Today's concert was a success. Here, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who supported Miss Su Shihan, as well as my sincere blessings to Miss Su Shihan. Thank you. The middle-aged man's speech was short and formal. Although Su Shihan was his subordinate, the middle-aged man didn't dare to neglect her at all. Not to mention that Su Shihan was his money tree, the background behind her was enough to intimidate the middle-aged man. He still remembered that 3 years ago, when he was drunk, he lost control of himself and wanted to get rid of Su Shihan. At that time, Feng Sanhuang's fierce skills and cold eyes, as well as the golden-class bodyguard that he hired with a lot of money, was knocked unconscious by Feng Sanhuang with one punch. The middle-aged man's heart was about to explode. Especially when Feng Sanhuang vaguely pointed out Su Shihan's background, the middle-aged man was so scared that he knelt on the ground and begged for mercy, saying that he would treat Su Shihan like his own daughter in the future, and make her the pillar of the company. Although the people weren't very interested in the middle-aged man's speech, since they were all here to see Su Shihan, but because he was the CEO of the entertainment company, they had to give him face. So after his speech, everyone still responded with a warm applause. After the applause, it was Su Shihan's turn to speak. Today, I was very happy. Although there was a small accident in the middle of the concert, it was solved in the end. Su Shihan smiled. Thank you to those who helped me, thank you. Su Shihan's words seemed to be directed at the guests and staff, but in fact, it was directed at Lin Yi. She believed that Lin Yi should be able to understand. However, Lin Yi understood, but he didn't express anything. He just smiled faintly and didn't even raise his head. Seeing that Lin Yi in the corner didn't have any reaction, Su Shihan was a little angry. When she was talking, everyone looked at her with enthusiasm, only Lin Yi, she didn't know what he was doing. Did he fall asleep? Su Shihan wanted to rush down the stage and kick him, but considering that there were so many people here, and Lin Yi was her benefactor, Su Shihan could only accept it. If Lin Yi was just a passerby, Su Shihan wouldn't be so angry, but now that they were friends, she was still being ignored. Su Shihan didn't feel comfortable. Su Shihan's speech was also very short. For this kind of occasion, Su Shihan was just dealing with it. These guests who came to the celebration banquet, there weren't many real fans. Most of them came with impure intentions. They wanted to get close to her. Su Shihan knew what they were thinking. Alright, everyone, enjoy yourselves. The middle-aged man took over the microphone and made the final decision. At this time, the celebration banquet officially started. Su Shihan didn't toast the guests on the stage. This was her rule. She didn't drink, so she skipped this step. However, after the banquet started, there were still a lot of people raising their glasses to toast. Su Shihan couldn't refuse, so she could only use tea instead of wine to deal with the guests. Su Shihan didn't like this kind of situation. Of course, she didn't like it, but it didn't mean that other people didn't like it. Some celebrities who weren't popular would still want to participate in this kind of banquet to improve their relationships. Miss Su, what a coincidence, we meet again. Zhao Qibing sat in his wheelchair and walked towards Su Shihan with Su Jianong. Su Shihan saw Zhao Qibing, and her face changed. She didn't think that Zhao Qibing would participate in this banquet. However, the company prepared the list, so Su Shihan didn't know about it beforehand. Zhao Qibing's appearance made the young masters around Su Shihan move away. Zhao Qibing's name was very famous in Songshan, and these young masters who represented their fathers to attend the banquet all knew Zhao Qibing. Their purpose was very simple. Other than having the illusion of Su Shihan, they also wanted to use this banquet to make more friends and build connections for their family's business. Of course, Zhao Qibing had already expressed his strong possessiveness towards Su Shihan. Naturally, the others wouldn't go against him. Young Master Zhao, hello. Su Shihan smiled and nodded, greeting Zhao Qibing. Although she hated him in her heart, she didn't show it on her face. Miss Su, I wonder if I can treat you to a drink. Let's find a table and sit down, let's have a chat. Qibing went straight to the point and invited Shihan. I'm sorry, young Master Zhao, I don't drink, and there are a lot of guests right now. I'm afraid I can't talk to you alone. Maybe next time, okay? Su Shihan politely rejected Zhao Qibing's suggestion. A lot of guests. Where are their guests? Why don't I see them? Are you guys busy? Don't just stand here, do what you need to do. Zhao Qibing looked at the young masters around him and said with a threatening tone. These people came here to make friends. Who would go against Zhao Qibing because of a woman? Even if this woman was a superstar and was as beautiful as a goddess, it wasn't worth offending them. So, after Zhao Qibing spoke, these people turned around and left. Without a doubt, Zhao Qibing had the highest status in this banquet. Even if Su Shihan wasn't his cup of tea, she couldn't be anyone else's. Zhao Qibing, why do I not like your style? Hitting on girls at your level, you're the best. The man who spoke was the young man that Lin Yi was familiar with. Zhao Qibing heard the mockery and froze. He turned around and saw the person who spoke. His face turned cold. I was wondering who it was. Isn't this the second son of House Sun? What, you're bored of staying in House Sun and can't be the heir, so you came out to relax. So what if I am? The second son is still better than the bastard. The man humphed coldly and said faintly. Chapter 1301. Help Anchanting jumped when he saw that the man beside him was talking back to Zhao Qibing. Chen Tian knew that the man was loyal to his friends, but it depended on the situation. The hidden house Zhao was obviously very strong, and it didn't matter if he was an illegitimate son or not. House Wu and House Sun, on the other hand, were just noble houses in the common world. There was a huge difference between them. A small House Sun dares to talk big in front of me. Don't think that I won't touch you just because you're from House Sunday. I may be an illegitimate son, but if I kill you, House Sun won't say a word. They won't stand up for a second son who isn't even an heir. Zhao Qibing laughed and said in a domineering manner. The man's face changed, turning very ugly. Zhao Qibing had hit the nail on the head. In House Sun, he didn't have the final say. With his big brother suppressing him from above, it made him, the second son, very sad. Especially since the man spoke up for justice, he was often ordered around by his big brother. It wasn't that he didn't understand, it was just that he did it willingly. Because of this, his position in House Sun was very ordinary. He was ordered around by his big brother to expose some of the family's problems in the family meetings, and was hated by the family. But the man didn't regret it. He was a man, and there were things he should do and things he shouldn't. This was his personality, and if he saw something unfair, he would do it. Kill me. You. The man looked at Zhao Qibing's legs, a mocking smile on his face. Li Tsiwa, slap him. Zhao Qibing pointed at the man and said arrogantly. Lin Yi heard Zhao Qibing's words and suddenly understood. House Sun, was it the noble House Faubert mentioned? Wasn't that Sun Jingyi's family? This man was Sun Jingyi's brother. Sun, Lin Yi suddenly remembered where he had seen this man before. Sun Ikai, this man was Sun Ikai. He remembered that when Lin Yi just moved to the Chu family's villa, he met a young man who drove a Ferrari. At that time, he said his name was Sun Ikai and asked Lin Yi to turn to him when he was in trouble. He would protect Lin Yi. Back then, Lin Yi had a good impression of her. He felt that she was a straightforward person. Although Lin Yi was a little cold in the way he handled things, that was towards enemies, friends, and people who owed him favors. Lin Yi would probably treat them 100 times better. Putting aside the relationship between Sun Ikai and Lin Yi, just the relationship between him and Sun Jingyi was something that Lin Yi couldn't just watch as Sun Ikai was bullied by Zhao Qibing. I'll go take a look. Lin Yi stood up and walked towards Zhao Qibing. I'll go too. Wait for me, Lin Yi honey. Xiao Xiao was also someone who liked to join in the fun. How could she not join in the fun? Sun Ikai's face was very ugly. He didn't think that Zhao Qibing would be this arrogant, ordering his men to beat him up in public. As a member of a noble house, Sun Ikai had never been humiliated like this before. In the past, everyone would give face to the Sun family, and the matter could be solved perfectly. But today, it was different. After calming down, Sun Ikai suddenly realized that the person he was facing was the hidden Zhao family, not an ordinary family. But Sun Ikai wasn't someone who was afraid of trouble. Facing Zhao Qibing's threat, he still stood up straight. Qibing was certain that he could defeat Sun Ikai. House Sun may have a special position among the noble houses, but they were a healing house. Their arts were all healing, not martial arts. So Sun Ikai was no different from a normal person. Sihua would be able to defeat him easily. Master Bing, please do me a favor. Bro's son is young and impulsive, don't mind him. Chen Tian was in a difficult position, but he had to stand up for Sun Ikai no matter how hard he tried. Sun Ikai was Sun Jingyi's brother. Chen Tian couldn't just stand by and watch when something happened. Alright, apologize to me now and get lost. I'll let this go. Qibing was more or less afraid of Chen Tian, this idiot. Chen Tian's kung fu was amazing, and Qibing's men were no match for him. So when Chen Tian asked, Qibing went with the flow and gave him face. Wu bro, don't worry about this. I just don't like his way of doing things. Sun Ikai didn't think that Chen Tian would stand up for him at a time like this. He didn't like Chen Tian very much, and he didn't support his sister marrying him, but at this moment, he felt that Chen Tian was quite loyal. Wu Chen Tian, did you see that? This brother-in-law of yours doesn't give you face at all. Don't worry about this. Zhao Qibing humphed coldly. He wanted Chen Tian to stay out of this. Seeing that the situation was about to explode, Su Shihan sighed helplessly. Sun Ikai was kind enough to speak up for her. Su Shihan naturally didn't want anything to happen to him. Young Master Zhao, if that's the case, then I'll drink a cup with you, but I'll use tea instead of wine. Shihan said that to divert Zhao Qibing's attention so that he wouldn't go against Sun Ikai. Zhao Qibing heard Shihan's words and was overjoyed. He thought that Shihan was attracted by his domineering aura. Shihan didn't give him any face before, but now she suddenly changed her attitude. It must be because what he did just now was very manly. Shihan was moved. From the looks of it, Shihan had the tendency to worship violence. Showing his strength often was good for hitting on girls. Okay. Miss Su, please. Zhao Qibing made a gesture and didn't bother with Sun Ikai anymore. Sun Ikai, naturally, knew that Shihan was helping him out. He sighed and shook his head. He was about to leave when he heard a voice of objection. Han, Xiao Xiao's looking for you. Go and accompany her. Lin Yi walked over and stood in front of Zhao Qibing, blocking Shirhan. I'll drink with this cripple. Wah. Zhao Qibing heard this voice and was shocked. He was too familiar with this voice. Wasn't this Lin Yi's voice? His legs were crippled twice because of him. Now, Uncle Zhu was still lying in bed, and Yao Wang was covered in needles. Zhao Qibing didn't dare to offend someone like this. Shirhan was taken aback when she saw Lin Yi suddenly coming to help. She didn't think that Lin Yi would call Zhao Qibing a cripple. With Zhao Qibing's personality, how would he react? Chapter 1302. Chapter 1300, Sun Jingyi's brother, Ha. Isn't this Lin Yi, boss? Since Miss Su is busy, I won't disturb you anymore. Qibing was depressed, but he didn't dare to act rashly. He didn't want to die. Lin Yi would really kill someone. With that, he signaled Sihua to push him away from this troublesome place. The speed was so fast that it was unbelievable. Sun Yikai was curious. Just who was this Lin Yi? How could he make Qibing so afraid? However, Chen Tian didn't think much of it. He knew that Lin Yi broke Qibing's legs, and he also heard that Lin Yi killed one and injured one from House Yu. He felt very complicated when he saw Lin Yi again. On one hand, he regretted going against Lin Yi, but on the other hand, he hated the relationship between Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. Lin Yi looked at Qibing's back and didn't say anything. He turned to Sun Yikai, right? We meet again. You are. Sun Yikai looked at Lin Yi, confused. He obviously couldn't remember where he saw Lin Yi before. Lin Yi, we met at the Seaview Villa district. Lin Yi smiled. You were driving a Ferrari. Ah. Sun Yikai was reminded by Lin Yi and suddenly remembered where he saw Lin Yi. You're Mingyao's family. Yes, I'm her follower and bodyguard. Lin Yi nodded. So it's you. Thank you for helping me just now. Sun Yikai couldn't help but blush after knowing who Lin Yi was. He told Lin Yi that he would protect Lin Yi, but now, who was protecting who? Let's go talk. Lin Yi had a good impression of Sun Yikai, so he invited him. Then I'll do as you say. Sun Yikai nodded generously. Chen Tian didn't have a good relationship with Lin Yi, and naturally, he wouldn't follow him. There was nothing for him to do here, so he went to find the Xiao brothers. Su Shirhan was sitting with Xiao, chatting. Zhao Qibing's harassment and Lin Yi's forceful appearance made the young masters at the scene give up on disturbing Su Shirhan. Many of them didn't know who Lin Yi was, but someone who could make Zhao Qibing suffer was no ordinary person. Plus, during the completion ceremony of Zhao Qibing's skyscraper, there were people who remembered Lin Yi. He was the one who injured Uncle Zhu and broke Zhao Qibing's legs. Who would want to mess with such a cruel character? Lin Yi found a place and sat with Sun Yikai. You're from House Sun. Who is Sun Jingyi to you? You know my sister. Sun Yikai was curious. Lin Yi was only a bodyguard, and it was already out of Sun Yikai's expectation that he could scare Zhao Qibing. He didn't think that Lin Yi would talk about his sister as soon as they sat down. Yes, we have a good relationship. Lin Yi thought about his identity as half a lover and didn't know if he should cry or laugh. What kind of weird identity was this? Ah. I remember now, you're Lin Yi. My sister's boyfriend. Sun Yikai slapped his forehead, connecting the person in front of him with the person Sun Jingyi was talking about. Sun Yikai came to Songshan this time. One of the main reasons was to persuade Sun Jingyi to return to House Sun and get engaged to House Wu. Sun Yikai himself was a student in Songshan, so the role of persuader fell on him. But Sun Yikai was different from the other people in House Sunday. He had a good relationship with Sun Jingyi, and he didn't only think about benefits, so he got along well with Sun Jingyi. This time, Sun Jingyi clearly told Sun Yikai to go back and tell Hao Sun that she already had a boyfriend, and that she didn't like Wu Qintian. And from Sun Jingyi's mouth, Sun Yikai also got the name of her boyfriend, Lin Yi. Of course, Sun Yikai didn't plan to report this information to Hao Sunday. He just wanted to have a chance to meet this future brother-in-law and help his sister check his character. However, before Sun Yikai could go look for Lin Yi, the two of them ran into each other in this kind of situation. Your sister's boyfriend. That's what your sister told you. Lin Yi didn't expect Sun Yikai to know so many things. Isn't Sun Jingyi's relationship with Hao Sun not very good? She told you these things. Hao Sun is Hao Sun, I am me. My sister and I have a good relationship. Sun Yikai smiled bitterly and said, I'm not the head of Hao Sun, nor am I the heir, so there are some things that I can't make decisions on. And you can also see that I'm very against those crooked ways. I can see that I have a good impression of you, otherwise I wouldn't have helped you out. Lin Yi said, but there's nothing between me and your sister. I'm just her fake boyfriend to trick Wu Qintian. Oh. Sun Yikai paused. He didn't expect Lin Yi to say this. You're saying that you're a fake. I have a girlfriend, she's over there, chatting with Su Shihan. Lin Yi pointed at Xiao Xiao and said, so you don't have to worry too much about me and your sister. There's nothing between us. So that's how it is. Sun Yikai didn't suspect anything. From his perspective, Lin Yi had no reason to lie to him. If it was someone else, if they really were Sun Jingyi's boyfriend, they would try to please him, his brother-in-law. Why would he say that he was a fake? Plus, he purposely announced that he had a girlfriend. Didn't this mean that there was no chance for him? If Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi really had a relationship, he wouldn't say this. Sun Jingyi seems to be very pitiful. She didn't have parents since she was young. Lin Yi asked. Yeah, my sister's background is actually very pitiful. Her surname isn't Sun, she's my aunt's child. But my aunt and uncle's husband died a violent death, so my sister was raised by Hao Sun and changed her surname to Sunday. Sun Yikai didn't hide anything. If Sun Jingyi could get Lin Yi to pretend to be her boyfriend, and Lin Yi knew some things about Hao Sun, then their relationship must be very good. There was nothing wrong with Sun Yikai saying this. I see, no wonder she's so stubborn. But she and Wu Qintian really aren't compatible. Wu Qintian's IQ is really low. Other than being a little arrogant, he's not a bad person. Lin Yi's evaluation of Wu Qintian was very accurate. Chapter 1303. Investigating in the dark. I know a little about this, but healing is also very powerful. It can heal people, it's not any worse than others. The foundation of a noble family doesn't necessarily lie in fighting and killing. Lin Yi was a doctor, so he knew very well how powerful a doctor was. A famous doctor was someone every noble family would fight to win over. That's right. But the mental cultivation method of our Sun family is too difficult. One level can only heal and support one person. The descendants of the Sun family, I'm afraid, will only be able to master one level in our entire lives. It's even more difficult to break through. Sun Yikai said, because of this, the Sun family's use is a lot weaker. We can't heal everyone, so it feels a little useless. Otherwise, with the nature of the Sun family, it wouldn't be difficult for us to enter the ranks of the hidden noble families. Sun Yikai saw through it all. Lin Yi only remembered that the special thing about the Sun family's mental cultivation method was that it had limitations. Because of this, the Sun family's development was limited. Only through marriage could they increase their strength and maximize their benefits. Otherwise, after the descendants of the Sun family heal someone, they could only heal and support one person for the rest of their life. If that person didn't join the other family, there was no point in staying in the Sun family. So the only way was marriage. What level are you at now? Have you healed anyone before? Lin Yi asked. Me? I haven't reached the first level yet. Sun Yikai smiled bitterly. It's not that easy to train. My sister is so talented, but she has only cultivated the first level to perfection. It will be extremely difficult for her to break through. Actually, I feel that you can try to train in an offensive type of mental cultivation method, Lin Yi suggested. Sometimes, making some changes might not be a bad thing. I've thought about it, but every family's mental cultivation method is confidential. Why would they let an outsider like me train in it? Sun Yikai smiled bitterly. Also, the mental cultivation method of the Sun family is very special. As long as you train in it, the qi that is introduced into your body will be automatically converted by the mental cultivation method. I'm afraid it's not very practical to train in other mental cultivation methods. I'm just saying. You'll have to rely on yourself for the details. Lin Yi patted Yikai's shoulder. All right, I won't disturb your time. Wu Qiantian has been looking over here many times. Don't cause trouble for House Sun because of me. Qiantian doesn't have a brain, just deal with him appropriately. All right, thanks for the reminder. Sun Yikai stood up and walked over to Qiantian. Shihan, on the other hand, had ended her conversation with Xiao Xiao. After all, this was her celebration banquet. She didn't want to, but she had to go. She couldn't just sit here and talk to Xiao Xiao alone. During this time, Feng Sanwang had been watching the scene coldly. When Zhao Qibing came to cause trouble for Su Shihan, he didn't make a move. From his perspective, as long as it didn't exceed a certain limit, he wouldn't make a move in public. Of course, with Lin Yi's help, there was no need for Feng Sanwang to make a move. However, Feng Sanwang took Lin Yi very seriously. He decided to report Lin Yi's situation to his master when he had time. Zhao Qibing's face was very dark. He didn't think that Shihan and Lin Yi would be together. Seeing Shihan and Xiao Xiao talking intimately, Zhao Qibing knew that he had no chance at all. In terms of medical skills, Lin Yi wasn't weaker than Yao Wang. In fact, he was even better. Although Zhao Qibing didn't want to admit it, he had to. With Lin Yi's interference, he wouldn't have the chance to get intimate with Xiao Xiao anymore. Ruining my good time. Zhao Qibing gritted his teeth. Master Bing, she's just a celebrity, let's just forget about it. Sihua was a little afraid now. This matter involved Lin Yi, and he didn't dare to fight head-on. He could only clench his teeth and give up. What else can I do? Zhao Qibing felt very useless. I don't know what my dad is thinking, it's just a small Lin Yi. It's fine if he just sent people to kill him, but he actually kept him alive until now. The head of the house has his own difficulties. Although he's the head of the house in name, there's still the head of the house, so... Sihua said vaguely. It wasn't a secret that the head of the house didn't like Zhao Qibing. Old fart, I'm his grandson, and he doesn't like me. Zhao Qibing knew the reason as well. He humphed unhappily. Because of the conflict between Lin Yi and Zhao Qibing, the celebration ended peacefully. Those who wanted to get close to Shihan didn't have such thoughts anymore. Looking at Shihan, who was surrounded by the crowd, Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao only waved at her from afar and left. Zhao Fafe had been looking for Tang Yun's information these 2 days. He spent money to hire a few housewives. They were the type of people who liked to chat with others when they had nothing better to do. Zhao Fafe asked them to find out where Tang Yun lived and her family situation. Zhao Fafe was humiliated, and naturally, he wasn't happy. As far as he was concerned, he was the #1 young master in Songshan. How could he not handle a girl? One had to know that House Xiao's backing was very strong. Soon, Zhao Fafa got all the information about Tang Yun's family from these housewives. After all, there weren't many beautiful teenage girls in the area. With these housewives' information, it was very easy to lock onto Tang Yun. And so, Tang Yun's complete information was out. Mrs. Tang loved to brag, so when she chatted with the housewives, it was only natural for her to spill the beans about her family's affairs. She didn't even know that she was being interrogated. Tang Yun, 18 years old, Songshan's first high school's third-year student. Her parents were unemployed, and they used to work in an electronics factory in Songshan. After the electronics factory was restructured, Mrs. Tang was laid off, and Mr. Tang was bedridden due to work injury. It was only this year that Tang Yun's family met a rich man, and the Tang family's life got better. Zhao Fafa's face turned cold as he looked at Tang Yun's information. He thought she was some rich girl, but it turned out to be a Cinderella, but someone else beat her to it. "You're just a bitch, and I thought you were so noble." Zhao Fafa smiled coldly. "Wait till I find out your man's background, then I'll play you to death." "How dare you give me that attitude? Who do you think I, Zhao Fafa, am?" Chapter 1304. Soon, Lin Yi's information was sent to Zhao Fafa's phone. Zhao Fafa's friend was also the son of a small boss. He had some money in his pocket, but he didn't have much influence in the school. After all, Songshan's first school was full of talents, rich people, and young masters. People like Zhou Ruoming and Zhong Pingliang were the most influential people in the school. As a result, there was a limit to what they could find out about Lin Yi. Only Ruoming, Pinliang, and the others knew about the deeper details, and they couldn't possibly tell anyone about it. They wouldn't let people laugh at them if they knew about it. One of the new Big Four had an affair with many school beauties. Was he good at fighting? Did you beat up a gangster boss in school? Zhao Fafa looked at the information on the phone and mumbled. "It seems like this kid is a bit tricky, I need to get help." The information wasn't detailed, so Zhao Fafa thought that Lin Yi was just a rich young master. Although he was good at fighting, he thought that 2 fists couldn't fight against 4 hands. He just needed to scare Lin Yi a bit, and he would use both kindness and force. This kid wouldn't be so stupid. Since he had an affair with many school beauties, he wouldn't care about Tang Yun anymore. Even if he asked him to give up, it shouldn't be a problem, right? With that thought, Zhao Fafa called his follower, Sun Xiaoxing. Sun Xiaoxing was Zhao Fafa's follower, and they grew up together. Zhao Fafa's family became rich, but Sun Xiaoxing's family was still poor, so Sun Xiaoxing became Zhao Fafa's follower. Zhao Fafa's confidence was inflated. Naturally, he wanted a certain amount of power, and so he sent Sun Xiaoxing to join the underworld. Although Sun Xiaoxing was a latecomer, he used Zhao Fafa's money to recruit many underlings. Of course, these followers were just small gangsters. They couldn't be compared to the big gangs. But even so, Zhao Fafa felt that it was enough to find some people to scare Lin Yi. From his point of view, Lin Yi was just a student. No matter how good he was nothing in front of people like Sun Xiaoxing. "Xiaoxing, where are you?" Fafa asked. "Brother Zhao, I'm at Uncle Zhao's construction site. Just now, there were a few little bastards who came here to collect the number, but they were chased away by me," Sun Xiaoxing said. "Not bad. I didn't expect you to be so awesome now. You can even protect my father." Zhao Fafa was very pleased with himself. It seemed like his plan was right. He raised a gang leader, and his family would have someone to protect them from now on. "It's all thanks to Brother Zhao's good training," Sun Xiaoxing said. "How many times have I told you, call me Fa bro, don't call me Zhao bro?" Zhao Fafa was dissatisfied with the way Sun Xiaoxing addressed him. He was more satisfied with the way Sun Xiaoxing called him Fa bro, yes, brother Fa. But this title is a bit awkward. Sun Xiaoxing said. It doesn't matter if it's awkward or not, just do it. Xiao Fafa humphed. Are you done over there? If you are, help me teach someone a lesson. Teach someone a lesson. Which idiot offended you, Fa bro? Sun Xiaoxing asked without any surprise. This wasn't the first time he helped Xiao Fafa with something like this. Sun Xiaoxing understood that Xiao Fafa wanted him to go to the underworld to solve some problems for him. It's a student from Songshan's first school. I'll call him out and scare him a little. Xiao Fafa said. I don't think you need to do anything. Just call all your underlings over and stand there. I think he'll be scared to death. All right, no problem. Songshan's first school, right? I'll go over now. Sun Xiaoxing was relieved after hearing that the person was just a student. And, same plan as before. Find a good restaurant nearby and have a meal with him. Xiao Fafa ordered. Every time Xiao Fafa wanted to teach someone a lesson, he would arrange for a high-class restaurant to have a meal with the excuse that he was inviting the person to have a meal. Naturally, the person would pay for the meal after the meal. Xiao Fafa wanted to teach someone a lesson, but Xiao Fafa wanted to teach someone a lesson. Although Xiao Fafa wasn't poor, he enjoyed the feeling of taking advantage of a sucker. He parked the car in front of Songshan's first school's entrance. Xiao Fafa got off the car and walked in. Since Xiao Fafa was young, the guards didn't mind him. They thought that he was a student and didn't stop him. Xiao Fafa entered the school smoothly and found his underling, Wu Liuqi. Which class is that brat from? Bring me to him. Xiao Fafa said arrogantly. Today, he combed his hair to the back, just like the god of gamblers in the movies. Yes, Fa bro. Wu Liuqi quickly nodded. Fa bro, you're getting more and more handsome. You're so cool. Ha, you really know how to talk. Don't worry, I won't forget about you. I'll bring that kid to have a feast later. Come with me. Xiao Fafa was overjoyed by Wu Liuqi's praise. Wu Liuqi was a second-year student. He brought Xiao Fafa to the classroom of 12th year class 5. Fa bro, this is the place. Lin Yi is in this class. Ask him to come out. Xiao Fafa nodded. He felt that it would be inappropriate for him to ask Lin Yi out himself. It was better to let Wu Liuqi do it. Lin Yi, come out for a second. Wu Liuqi didn't hesitate and yelled at the classroom door. He had Xiao Fafa to take care of this, so he wasn't afraid of anything. Lin Yi heard that someone was looking for him at the door, but he didn't care. He walked out of the classroom and looked at the two people at the door. He felt that one of them looked familiar. Wasn't this the guy who claimed to be one of the 4 young masters of Songshan? You're looking for me. Lin Yi didn't expect this guy to come looking for him. You're Lin Yi? Xiao Fafa asked arrogantly. Yes. What's the matter? Lin Yi asked back. Come with me, I'll treat you to a meal. We'll talk about something. Xiao Fafa said to Lin Yi. Treat me to a meal. Talk about something. Lin Yi looked at Xiao Fafa suspiciously. Would he be so kind as to treat him to a meal? Lin Yi didn't believe it at all. According to Lin Yi's estimation, this kid was looking for trouble. Treating him to a meal was just an excuse. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.